from the StreamYard studios on YouTube. This is Jeopnerdy. And here's your host, John DeMarco.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Jeopardy! We're glad you're here as always, and joining us as usual is our co-host, Professor Brainy Specs.
Thank you, John. Welcome. How are you?
Doing good, thanks. Glad you're here.
I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad everyone else is here as well. Welcome, everyone.
Well, there are a lot of people here chatting before the stream started. I think YouTube may have deleted some of the chat on my end, so forgive me if I missed anybody. But I want to say hello to T-Dowd if he's here. As usual, he left the message earlier this week. I say greetings also to Mikey and Mercer. Glad you're here, gentlemen. Hello also to Cinnamon Bunny, Bird of Prey 5, Kapla, Brad Wolf. Glad you're here, sir. And Jay Aldridge, I heard he's not feeling well, but hopefully he's doing better this evening.
Good.
And if anybody else is joining us later this evening, we're glad you could make it. As you may have noticed, sorry, go ahead.
And Mr. T, wow.
Very impressive.
Thank you. Not as impressive as your beard, though.
Well, I appreciate that. As you may have noticed, we have the link pinned to the top of the chat if you'd like to be one of our contestants tonight. Although it looks like we already have some players for round one. So in that case, we'll go ahead and bring up our first three contestants. But we have 3 rounds, so if you want to be one of the later ones, you can go ahead and click on that link. Welcome to Bird of Prey 5, Mikey, and to some strange name. I can't quite make it out. But greetings.
Krapla.
Pay me.
Hey, hello. Wowzers.
I have no idea what that is.
I want my replicator, librarian.
I'll just call him Cinnabon.
Okay.
I think that'll work.
That'll work too.
How's everyone
And
doing
we
this
got
evening?
quiet.
Yeah, we're doing good. How you guys doing?
Fine, thanks.
Doing pretty well.
Beard's still impressive as always, John.
Well, thank you.
Yes, it is. Most impressive. And how are you handling those 100-degree temps there, Professor?
Oh, it's not too bad. Although I'm not looking forward to 110 come Monday and Tuesday as they're forecasting.
Stop
Yeah,
being a
I really feel
snowflake.
the difference.
Yeah, you
It's
can
tough.
tell the difference, Bird. You really can.
You definitely can. I call it dryness versus humidity. And you go from there.
Tokyo. I didn't know Michael Burnham was here.
Yeah,
Good point.
that's a good point.
And welcome, Tokyo.
Hello, Tokyo.
Greetings. Would you like to begin, gentlemen?
Yes, let's begin.
Are we
Ready.
playing buzzers or?
No buzzers. No
turns.
buzzers. No. No buzzers.
Don't
I'll
be
play any
afraid.
silly little game you want to play.
Really?
Really.
What if I wanted to play Librarians Are the Best?
I would crush that game. And
Sure you
you.
Sure you would. Well, if you're ready to play, gentlemen, let's play Jeopnerdy.
We're ready.
Our first category is stringed instruments, where you'll be told a character and you tell us what instrument they played. Wolf 359 ships. In this case, you will be given the name of a ship, and you tell us what class it is.
Wolf 359 was an inside job. Sorry. I
Red
felt
alert.
compelled to say that for some reason.
In Red Alert, you'll be identifying the episode or the movie.
Okay.
Michaels.
Burnham.
Not sure, quite sure who you're referring to, but this is all about
I-
Star Trek questions. And Klingon, fill in the blank.
Oh,
Bird, you are first up, but I hear you have a new thing going on Twitter.
Yes. Apparently, Twitter has a new feature called Communities, which I just found out about like an hour ago. And it said I should create one. So I created Karoga.
That's funny. You created that an hour ago, and I
Maybe
joined it
two.
like 3 hours
Maybe
ago.
2 hours ago.
Closer to 3.
Well, time is
Although I am
Time
a
is
time
relative.
lord. I'm a time lord, so
welcome to Karoga.
the library
Right.
has already infiltrated Karoga. That's terrible. It's going to fall now.
It already fell, Cinnabon, long time ago. Just don't tell Bird of Prey 5 that. Bird of Prey 5, you're up first.
Let's do Klingon fill in the blank for 100.
You have sided against us in battle, and this we do not forgive, or blank.
What is forget?
That is correct.
Wow, you got a
Sassy.
Klingon. You got a Klingon clue.
Sassy does not forgive or
Ah.
forget.
Mikey, you're up.
I wonder if you planned this category knowing I was coming today. Let's go with Michael's 100.
Fairhaven. Tell us the name of the Michael in that episode.
Wow. Yeah. I don't even know which. I don't know what Trek it is. Pass.
Cinnabon.
I'm assuming last name, right? You don't just want us to say Michael for every answer.
Yeah, we do need a last name.
Who is Sullivan?
That's correct.
Well done, Cinnabon.
Okay.
And it's your turn.
We will steal Bird's Klingons for 200.
Son of a bitch.
Kirk may be a swaggering, overbearing, tin-plated dictator with delusions of godhood, but he's not blank.
Uh-oh, this was from TOS. He's not. It's probably easy because it's 200, but I don't want to get it wrong, so I will have to pass.
Bird.
He is not. What is soft?
That is
Ah,
correct.
man.
All right, Bird, you stole that one, and it's your turn.
Let's do fill in the blank for 300.
Typical Karogan stealing.
It has a sweet taste when it is fresh from the vine, but don't live too long. The taste turns blank after a time.
Man, that was easier.
What is sour?
That is incorrect.
Haha. Yeah.
Mikey.
Ah, son of a bitch.
Pass this one.
Mikey.
Wretched. What is wretched?
That is incorrect.
Cinnabon.
What is bitter?
You got it.
They're basically the same thing.
No, we needed the correct word because it's a quote. All right, Mikey.
Okay. Klingon fill in the blank for 400.
Blank. Choi Chu.
Oh, sweet.
Maltz Joy Chu.
Ah, dang it.
What is Maltz Joy Chu?
Very good.
Oh, thank you.
And you catapulted into the lead, Mikey.
The last one's going to be the
Yay.
stupid one from the animated series, I'm assuming. So we have to skip that.
I love that. That was
You don't want to
from,
try to steal it, Cinnabon?
Huh?
Block somebody? You love blocking.
Yeah, we're going to block. No, we're not going to, because it's going to be something ridiculous. So we're going to skip it. And we're going to go with red. We're going to see what this red alert. No, we're not. Yeah, okay. Red alert for 100.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure this time.
Sorry.
Oh no. What is first contact?
I'm afraid not.
Nemesis.
Bird of
isn't
Prey
it?
5.
What is insurrection?
That is incorrect.
Nemesis.
Mikey.
I just said it. God.
What is Nemesis?
You've got it.
Nicely
Thank
done. Nicely done. You got the
I
lead.
tried
but
helping the Klingon, but he didn't take it.
well, maybe Bird can get this next one correct. Bird, it's your turn.
Do Klingon fill in the blank?
So either General Blank lives or I do. It's the General, isn't it?
Oh, it's Enterprise, not animated series.
Pass.
Mikey.
I know, and it's for 500, but there's so many generals. Pass.
Pass. I don't remember his name.
General Kavag.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I thought I was going to be wrong, though.
Kavak. I would have misguessed and said Martok, so I would have been wrong. Good thing I didn't guess.
I thought the doctor's name was that. That's why I skipped it. Dang
You
it.
thought the doctor's name was Martok?
The scientist Klingon guy in that episode. No, not Martok. Kavak.
Well, you said it after Mikey said Martok. I mean, come on. All right, Mikey, you got the lead. You got control.
All right, let's try Wolf 359 ships for 100.
The USS Saratoga.
Oh,
Tell us the class of the ship.
The class of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is Constitution class?
That is incorrect.
Cinnabon.
What is a Miranda class?
That's right.
Okay.
All right, Cinnabon, you stole that one. It's your turn.
We're going to try stringed instruments Spock and his lute for 100.
Sonny Clements.
Oh, come on. Who's that? Oh, is that the hippie guy? I have no idea. It's going to be some like weird guitar thing. So I pass.
Bird of Prey 5.
What is a guitar?
That is correct.
Oh, what?
That was the episode where the people get unfrozen from TNG, neutral zone.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. I thought it was that weird.
He
hippie
wanted
guy
Data
from
to go on
TOS.
tour with him.
Boo.
All right, Bird, you got control. That's right, the
Well,
neutral
let's do
zone, Tokyo.
Stringed instruments for 200. And let's look for that loot.
The Caretaker.
Mhm.
Oh, I know
Stringed
this one.
instruments.
Sweet. Pass.
Oh,
You're passing, Cinnabon? Automatic
No.
pass?
Bird should pass.
what is it called?
That's what we need to know.
This timer needs to hurry up.
What is a banjo?
Damn it!
You got it.
Just in time.
All right, we got a
Nicely
very
done.
tight game now. Cinnabon. I'm sorry, Mikey, it's your turn.
Okay, let's go back to Red Alert for 200. Okay. Can I name the ship that's happening, or
You
is
need
it
the
the ship, or
episode.
is it the episode you said?
The episode.
Episode.
The episode. Ah, damn it. Yeah, I know it's DS9, but
It's like every episode of DS9.
Well, if you look closely,
Yeah.
there's only one episode
Pass.
it could be.
yeah. Well, yeah, like every.
You're passing.
Time's up.
Cinnabon. Cinnabon.
We'll take
Well,
a stab at it and go with what
any
is
episode with
We Are the
Reliance
Warrior.
in it.
It has to be
Yeah.
Way of the Warrior.
You said Way of the Warrior, Cinnabon?
Yes.
That's correct.
Had
And
to
the reason
be.
it has to be that because Worf's wearing his TNG uniform.
Ah.
All right, Cinnabon, you got the lead, a slim one, and control.
We'll go with Michael Eddington for 200.
Which category?
Michael's.
The adversary.
Who is Michael Eddington?
That is correct.
Oh, nice.
Bird, it's your turn.
Do stringed instruments for 300.
Miles O'Brien.
What?
Miles.
Oh. I think I know this one.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
not
pass.
placing it myself.
Mikey.
Oh, me. Trying to think. What is the violin?
That is incorrect.
Cinnabon.
Okay.
We're going with what is a cello?
That's right.
Oh, good.
All right, Mikey, you can redeem yourself here. It's your turn.
I hope so. Let's go with Wolf 359 ships for 200.
The USS Kyushu.
Kyushu. Wow.
What is the random debris?
Yeah, right. No, pass. Sorry, pass.
Cinnabon.
I am going to pass.
Bird of Prey 5.
I will pass. But is it Excelsior?
It is not. It
Good.
was New Orleans class.
Cinnabon, you got a fairly good lead all of a sudden. Your turn.
We'll try.
Aliens class.
Let's go with Red Alert for 300. Oh God, what was the stupid episode called? What is Q in the Gray?
That is correct.
Okay, Bird. Your turn.
Do stringed instruments for 400.
Jordy Adale.
Who's that?
I assume that was the TNG episode that what's his face streamed up Geordie in the holiday. I have no clue. Pass.
Aston. Mikey.
Okay, I'm trying to remember the episode. It's like a guitar. It's like a mandolin, but it's like huge. Do I have to get the
Cinnabon.
exact name of it?
I do not know. Pass.
Well, you said it, Mikey. It was the
Mandolin?
mandolin.
It was mandolin, but I didn't say it in the form of a question, did I?
I don't think you ran out of time, unfortunately. Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Mikey, it's your turn.
Okay, let's finish the category. Stringed instruments, 500.
Juliana Tainer.
Okay, Juliana. She was Data's. What is a bass violin?
That is incorrect.
Cinnabon.
Let's go with what is a viola?
That's the one.
Cinnabon, you're running away with it all of a sudden.
All right, we need to block these big ones then. So we'll go with red alert for 5. I'll pass.
Bird.
I don't get it. It appears to be a cartoon.
It is, indeed.
It looks like some fan art.
Bird.
Pass.
Mikey.
Okay, that's from the animated series.
Oh,
Damn it. Pass.
is it counterclock?
Yes, it is, because that's Commodore April.
Yeah.
That's not possible. Because I was watching Strange New World and Commodore April does not look like that.
That's
You're
completely
right.
different.
Or April does not look like what's on Strange New Worlds.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, Bird.
Finish out red alerts.
Oh, no.
All right. You have 500 points, but you can bet up to 1,000.
I bet 100.
100. All right, 100.
You're going to identify this episode.
Assemble the senior staff and go to red alert. We have a bigger problem than I thought. Red alert!
Oh man, I know this one too. That sucks.
Mhm.
It's really easy.
What is chain of command?
I'm afraid not. That was from All Good Things.
All
Never heard of it.
Mikey, it's your turn, sir.
Okay. Michael's for 300.
Investigations.
Voyager again?
Pass. Pass.
Cinnabon.
What was his name? Michael. Who's Michael?
I think we need a little more than that.
It's a guy that's
It
a
was
saboteur
me.
guy. Oh, man.
It was me, Mikey
Bird.
me.
Bird.
Yeah, pass.
Michael
Jonas.
Michael Jonas. Okay. Don't think I would have got that. Tokyo, how dare you say that?
Tokyo's treading.
Well, then your screen's broken.
All right, Cinnabon, you got the lead and control.
Let's go with let's see. We have to block the 500 so no one can catch up. So ships for 500.
The USS Awani.
We will pass.
Bird.
Pass.
Mikey.
Hawaii. Nope, we will pass.
Was it Cheyenne?
Yep.
God dang it.
Cheyenne class. Oh man.
Yep. 4 nacelles.
Okay.
Bird.
Bird.
Do Wolf 359 ships for 3 minutes.
The USS Bonestell.
What is Excelsior?
That is incorrect.
Son of a bitch.
Mikey.
No, I'm gonna try it. Pass.
Cinnabon.
We're going to guess and say that one was the. Actually, no, we're not. We're pass. But was it the Constitution?
No, it's the most important ship at any battle in Oberth.
Oh, my
Over.
favorite ship.
Deed. Mikey, it's your turn.
Oh, I hope I can do this. Okay. Michael's for 400.
Past tense, part 2.
Where's Michael Birnbaum?
That is incorrect.
Cinnabon.
Oh, of course.
Is that the guard? I think. No, I passed.
Bird of Prey 5.
Are you sure this is not the Gabriel category? Because that's
For
what
sure.
I could answer. Gabriel's.
No, we are looking for Michael Webb.
Michael Webb. Okay.
Mhm.
Cinnabon.
500.
Vox Sola.
I do not know. Pass.
Bird.
Pass.
Mikey.
Michael, who is Michael Constantine?
Unfortunately, I think your time was up. In any case, the answer was Michael Rostov.
Rostov. Okay.
Mhm.
I tried.
Well, Bird, you get the honor of the final clue. Here it comes. Wolf 359 ships for 400.
The USS Chekhov.
Pass.
Mikey.
What is the Galaxy class?
That is incorrect.
Cinnabon.
I feel like that one has to be the Constitution. So we'll go with what is the Constitution?
That is also incorrect.
Aw.
This was the Excelsior, wasn't it?
It was a Springfield class.
No.
Only time it's ever been
Springfield
seen,
class.
as far as I know.
Okay. All right, Chairman. Good luck on your final.
Sweet.
All right, let's head on over to final Jeopnerdy. And the way that Cinnabon bets, Bird, you still got a chance. Unfortunately, Mikey, you cannot play.
Not this time.
Let me get the. Oh,
I'm
he
gonna do what
changes his
everybody does.
tactics.
Hopefully, Cinnabon.
I'm
He's
betting
changing
0
his
point.
tactics.
There is the link to the Cosmo Buzz room, and consider your bet amounts on this category.
TOS Season 1.
We'll bet some points, but not all of them.
Oh, you're not going to bet them all? You're not the true champion? If you're
Says the
going to
person
win,
that only
you
bet
got,
100 on Double Jeopardy.
if you got to win, you have to be a true champion.
I don't know TOS, so I'm not betting at all. This time, I'm taking the win.
That's assuming I don't come from behind.
All right. Here is the clue.
This was the only episode from the first season of TOS with no star date mentioned.
Players, you have 30 seconds. Kabla! In here. Our champion is Bird. You had 100 points entering final Jeopardy. Your response.
What is Miri? That is incorrect, I'm afraid.
Did you bet, Bird? All 100, taking you down to 0.
True champion.
And Cinnabon, you were in the lead at 2,000 points. Your response.
Victory, hang your head in shame, loser, champion. That is not an episode from TOS season 1.
I think we should deduct all his points for that response.
Hey,
How
I
much
at
did
least
you
was
bet?
closer.
Half of it. Take you down to 1,000 points. Cinnabon, you are the champion.
And if you're
700th
wondering,
week in a row. Awesome.
the correct response was The City on the Edge of Forever.
That would have been my second guess.
Of course.
I knew that one. I just wanted to rub it in Bird's face.
Sure
I
you
feel
did.
like that's unsportsmanlike conduct. Minus a
Mark my
1,000.
champion, defeat your enemies, and make them cry.
And now you have to defend for another round. So good luck with that.
Yes.
I will emerge victorious on the yellow alert category.
We shall see.
Good night,
We
guys.
shall see.
Thanks, Bird.
Take care. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for playing, Bird.
Take
Thank
care,
you,
Mikey.
Bird. Hey, thank you, Brother Bird. I'll wait in the backstage then.
Thank you
Sounds
for
good.
falling to my might.
You chickened out.
Let's welcome up our contestants for the next round that challenge Cinnabon. We have Tokyo, and looks like we have a new contestant this evening. Welcome to Brad Wolf.
Hi, guys.
Well, welcome, Bradwell.
Glad you could join us.
Sweet. Fresh meat.
Good job, Sam.
Heck yeah.
You've learned to clench victory and hold on to it.
Only because
Well done.
I had to defeat Bird. But this time we'll be betting everything, no matter what.
Do you want the 359, Brad Wolf?
Yes, please.
All right, we'll put that in there. Very good. It's good to have you playing the game.
Well, I'm not usually able to, but I got lucky this week, so figured I'd give it a shot.
All right. I'm sure you're going to do well. Although
Yes.
you got two tough contestants here.
Good luck
Gentlemen, are
to
you
us
ready?
all.
Sorry?
Good luck to us all.
You sound nasally.
No, I'm trying to imitate Vatic.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
When she was captured, she was like, good luck to us all. You suck at interrogation.
Got it. Oh. Delay a game.
You may begin.
Minus 2,000 points on the last game.
Didn't want it. You didn't want. Never mind.
2,000 yard penalty, repeat
Making
second
a lot
down.
of noise, so that's why I said wait. but you may begin.
Glad we have your permission.
Thank you. If all three of you are ready to play,
I'm ready.
play.
Let's go.
Let's play Jeopnerdy.
You're starting off with wind instruments. Once again, you're going to tell us what instrument the character plays. Battle of Sector 001 ships.
Interesting.
Naming the class. Yellow alert. You'll identify the episode or the movie. Elizabeth's. You'll be dating the character based on the episode. And Romulan, fill in the blank.
Uh-oh. I don't know any Elizabeths.
You know one at least. Guaranteed.
We will go with the Defiant in Battle of Sectors 001 for 100.
The Enterprise E.
Ah, man. What is a Sovereign?
That's right.
Tokyo.
I will take Elizabeth Tucker for 100.
The Best of Both Worlds.
Okay, well, I'll take who is Elizabeth Shelby.
That is correct.
Oh, there goes the one Elizabeth I knew.
Well, now we know there's a Tucker. So when they ask,
The 200. When you get the $200 question, you'll know it.
Okay,
Brad
how
Wolf,
about,
welcome to the game. It's your turn.
how about the Romulan fill in the blank 100?
You and I are of a kind. In a different reality, I could have called you blank.
What is friend?
That is correct.
Nicely done. We got a tight game going so far. Cinnabon.
we'll go with Harry Kim and his stupid clarinet for 100, or wind instrument.
Scotty.
Oh, what are bagpipes?
That's right.
Tokyo.
I'll take Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock for 100. I mean, Yellow Alert. There it is.
Incredible machine.
What is Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock?
An incredible answer.
How can you have a yellow alert while you're in space dock? Sir, someone's trying to steal the Enterprise.
I'm on my way.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Brad Wolf.
Okay, how about Yellow Alert 200?
There's a
What
theme
is-
today.
What is Best of Both Worlds Part 2?
That is correct.
Nicely done. Cinnabon.
All right,
You're not in the lead.
We're going to keep searching for his stupid clarinet for 200.
There
There it is.
Where's the
There he is.
clarinet?
There you go.
Great.
I'm not sure what Jay's all on, but how in the heck? What? Heard saying again?
Probably the best of both worlds thing.
Maybe. Tokyo, it's your turn.
Elizabeth Tucker for 2.
The Zindi.
There it is. Elizabeth Tucker. Who was Elizabeth Tucker?
Bingo.
And now I think I'm done with Elizabeth.
Oh, steal the Enterprise again, says Bird. All right, Brad Wolf.
Okay. I'm not going to get this one, but how about the Battle of Sector 001 ships 200?
The USS Bozeman.
Oh. I can see it in my mind's eye, but I'm just okay. Like I said, I'm not going to get it. So, what is Oberth class?
That is incorrect, I'm afraid.
Yep.
Don't
Figured.
forget, you can pass. Cinnabon.
I mean, these are ones that even if we didn't see them, right?
We did see this one.
We did.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I mean, the only Bozeman I know is what is a Soyuz.
That's correct.
And Cinnabon, it's your turn. You got the lead.
I hope it's the Thunder Child. So we'll go with the Battle of Sector 001 for 3. Yeah, wasn't
You
it
guessed
Kira?
That's correct.
You got to let the host read the clue. I should take points away. Tokyo.
Not playing buzzers.
Romulan for 3.
She will grow up believing her father is a blank.
A
But
woman.
she will grow up.
She'll grow up believing that her father is a. What is coward?
That is
No.
incorrect.
Bradwolf.
What is traitor?
That's right.
That's the one.
That's it. And
Defector.
Jay is saying, how the heck again? I don't know.
Okay.
Bradwolf.
Same category for 200.
I gave you an order and expect you to follow it. Blank assault mode now.
I should have taken this one. That's all right.
Oh.
I'm going to pass.
What is multi-vector assault mode?
That's right.
Couldn't think of it, so.
Cinnabon, you got
Finally, the
lead
champion is emerging, Sin. Good.
and control.
Let's see. I don't know any more of the ships. I feel like Defiant would be too easy for 4 and 500. So we'll have to go with I don't know. We'll go with man, it's gonna be some like random fine. Wind instruments for 300. It's gonna be some random background character.
Jean-Luc Picard.
Oh, what is a Resican flute?
That is correct.
Yeah, you can't get more background character than Jean-Luc Picard.
Well, we're running out of players that played instruments.
Tokyo.
So there's 2 other ships from the Sector 001, but I'm going to have trouble figuring out which one it is. 500.
The USS Appalachia.
Appalachia.
You spelled it wrong. It's supposed to be the alpaca.
Let's go to 0. What is Nebula?
That is incorrect.
0. Yeah.
Bradwolf.
Pass.
I have no
Cinnabon.
idea. So that would be
That
a
was
pass.
that was a steam runner class.
That was a steam runner?
Yep.
Bradwolf.
Okay, that's same category 400. Close it out.
USS Budapest.
There we go.
Oh, I can't even picture this one, so pass.
I think
Cinnabon.
that was the nebula, so we'll go with what is a nebula.
That is incorrect.
Boo.
Tokyo.
What is Norway class?
You got it.
Yeah, I kind of figured the 4 and 500 were going to be steam runner and Norway. I just wasn't confident in the last answer, so I threw out Nebula. Eliminated.
Cinnabon.
Need points back, I guess. We'll go with the red alert for 300.
You are crushing. You
No.
don't need points back.
For
You
300.
mean yellow alert
Wait, yes,
or 300?
300. Oh, it's the one where they ejected the pod. What is court martial?
That's it.
Mm-hmm. I was hoping you'd pass. Nope.
Tokyo.
Wind for 4.
Keiko O'Brien.
I'm about to undo my points.
Dare you put that name in this?
I can picture her playing the oboe. Pass.
Brad Wolf.
I'm going to pass as well.
Cinnabon.
I believe it was the oboe, so we'll go with what is an oboe.
It was not the oboe.
Flute.
It was the clarinet.
Ah.
You have a clarinet too?
Asians and clarinets in Star Trek there, Sam.
What is with Asians and clarinets? That's weird.
Amazing coincidence. Brad Wolf.
Okay.
Her
Well,
mouth counts as a wind instrument. Gross.
okay. 500, same category. Let's close that one out too.
Susan Nicoletti.
Okay, I don't know this character. I probably do. I just don't recognize the name, so pass.
Cinnabon.
The one that I think was a trio with Brian. Man, yeah, we'll pass.
Tokyo.
Seen her once on Voyager.
Was it Voyager?
Yeah, she was named in the engineering team on Pass.
She had cold hands and cold heart, but not when she played the oboe.
Oh.
Yeah, she was on Torres' engineering team.
See, I was thinking she was, Next Generation. That's what had me completely wrong.
Yeah, me too. We have to block a 500, so we're gonna go with Yellow Alert.
Yeah, I can't be coming back from this.
Cinnabon, you have 2,200 points. Are you going to bet at all?
Probably not.
Bet $1, dude.
Well, you can bet $5 as your minimum.
1,000.
1,000. All right.
That makes
1,000.
that doubles the 500, so it's still a daily double.
Okay, if you say so. For 1,000.
Identify this episode.
All personnel report to stations. Yellow alert.
Now what? Neelix to Chakotay?
We're very busy up here, Neelix. What do you need?
That was the one where they had to go back into the monster to seal it. Because they rammed their ship through it.
Coffee in that nebula.
Don't tell Jane we should go right after it.
I think it's wrong, but let's go. What is the cloud?
That would be correct.
Sweet.
Nicely done, Cinnabon. Tokyo.
Romulan 4.
People blame the military for the wars we are asked to fight, but I think it is your kind, blank, that will be the death of us all.
What crap is this one from?
Woman.
Doctor? Pass. I have no confidence.
Brad Wolf.
Okay, what is politicians?
That is incorrect.
Darn.
Cinnabon.
We're gonna pass, but it's Klingons. Klingon. Oh, Major.
It was Major. It's from Face of the Enemy.
Okay. Yellow alert 400. Nope. Pass.
Cinnabon.
Trying to figure out where he's standing.
Just, it's like he's looking into my eyes.
We'll have to pass this one.
Tokyo.
No, pass.
He's snowing on the promenade in If Wishes Were Horses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cinnabon.
We will block the Romulans for 500.
The blank is starting to grow on me. For a moment there, I almost forgot that it wasn't the real thing, but only for a moment.
The rat. What is the aroma?
That is correct.
They did fairly well in that category.
Kyo.
5.
Up the long ladder.
Pass.
Red Wolf.
Pass as well.
Cinnabon.
Has to be some Irish last name. Oh no, I'm running out of time.
I would have been very impressed if anybody had known Elizabeth Vallis. She's one of the clones.
Okay. Oh.
Wow.
There's
Red
so
Wolf 3.
many choices. So many
300 or
choices.
400?
300.
Where no man has gone before.
Pass.
Cinnabon.
Pass.
Tokyo.
Starts with a D, but my pronunciation will get the points deducted. Pass.
Elizabeth Daner.
Yep.
Daner. Okay.
Daner.
I would like
Cinnabon, you
400.
get the last one. 400.
Explorers.
We'll pass.
Tokyo.
Explorers.
The sail ship one.
Oh, pass.
Brad Wolf.
Pass.
Elizabeth Lenz.
Lens.
The valedictorian of Bashir's medical school.
Oh, that.
Oh.
See, I couldn't even remember her first name.
Sweet.
Okay.
Welcome, Simon Higgins. It's good to see you here.
Welcome.
Greetings.
All right. Let me get the link for Cosmobuzz into the private chat. Go. And we'll head on over to Final Jeopnerdy. Consider how much you would like to bet on this category.
The city on the edge of forever.
What? 0?
Find my way in.
Well, we all know Cinnabon loves TOS, so he has to bet it all here.
Still betting 1,000. Wait, I have 2 rooms open. Let me leave one. Is this the right one? Still, can you see me typing?
Yes, I can see you typing. And Brad Wolf, you just type your bet amount into the box. You don't
Yeah,
have
for
to push
every
it.
week in a row, I bet it all. And all of you bet 0. So don't call me a coward, bitches.
I'm not saying a word.
I didn't
I'm
say
encouraging
anything.
you not to bet at all. Bunny Basher 5000. That can't be Jay, can it?
Doesn't matter.
All right.
Just crush everyone during Blue Alert.
Your bet amounts are entered. Let's reveal the clue.
John Frozen time.
Don?
Sorry, it's lagging on me.
I can read it if you like.
Go ahead.
The boxing poster, which appears behind Kirk and Spock when they first arrive in 1930, was recreated with a few modifications for this episode of DS9. Players, you have 30 seconds. Kapla!
And what was that episode where they just kept beaming into different time zones?
Thank you.
It was the Benny Russell episode. No, it was the one when they went back in time and Disco had to turn into the other guy because he killed him. I forgot what it's called, so we'll just go with this.
All right, done. No, I haven't changed my answer.
I can see you typing, so I can see you as you type.
I don't know if that was a two-parter episode. I don't think it was. I don't remember I don't like this episode, so.
Yeah. Who won the game?
Sin did. Congratulations.
Brad Wolf, 359. You had 300 points going into Final Jeopardy. Your response?
Yeah, I blanked, so.
And I think John has still...
He looks frozen.
Frozen issues. So, no, that's not correct. Let's see how much you bet. 250, taking down to 50 points. Let's see if that might be enough for you. Tokyo Trucker, Tokyo Klingon, I should say. You had 400 points, and your response.
It's actually Tokyo sucks. But...
Ooh, maybe I did get it right.
Past tense. It was, as Sin said, because he's champion. Well, past tense, we'll go ahead and take that. Yeah, that is correct. And how much did you bet? All of it, taking it 800 points. And Cinnabon, you had a substantial lead, 4,200 points. Your response. What is past tense? You got it right. And your bet amount was 1,000, taking it 5,200 points. And once again, you are the champion. Congratulations, Cinnabon.
Yep, congratulations.
BS.
True champion is emerging. Finally.
Every time I bet at all, it's a ridiculously hard question. What's going on? You guys are clearly rigging it, so I look stupid.
What? Very good game, everyone. And Brad Wolf, thank you for joining us. It's good to see you up here playing the game.
That was fun.
I'm glad you had fun.
It's a good time, Brad Wolf.
That was the point. And John is in the chat saying, sorry, technical difficulties. Be back momentarily. We hope you will.
Delay of game, all players get 1,000 points.
Which we take from your score.
That's all right.
Jay's accusing you of mutiny there.
Times 1,000.
What?
Well, yeah, that's fair, I think.
Professor Jay's accusing you of mutiny.
Oh, is he now?
Yeah, he's saying, OMG, you threw John out.
Oh.
No, Jay. I wouldn't do that.
Joff is trying to take over.
I can't run this show all by myself. I'm sorry.
Not
There's
what
too
you said
much.
in Discord.
Wow.
Lies, fake news, and you know it. Well, as we wait for John to come back, anything you would like to say before we move to the next game?
Well, my rear end hurts right now. Really, really bad after Cinnabon kicked the crap out of it.
Yeah,
good game, by the way.
Like, well, who? Okay, what names could it possibly be? Because there has to be lots of them.
John.
Maybe it wasn't. Well, there's not that many.
Michael, Elizabeth. Michael and Elizabeth. What kind of relation do they have? Michael and Elizabeth.
We're just gonna have to wait and find out.
And the alert one, I mean, it has to be blue alert, I guess, or
It should be like 3 episodes of Voyager and
Yeah.
one of.
so there's not enough blue alerts, and there's not enough black alerts.
30, yeah, Blue Alert 37's Basics Part 1.
Dragon's Teeth.
Dragon's Teeth? Did they go to Blue Alert and Dragon's Teeth?
Yeah, they had to land the ship.
Yeah, they did.
Message in a bottle. Prometheus went to Blue Alert when it went to multi-vector assault mode.
Which was cool, I gotta say.
And there would be, that's 4, right?
That's 4.
Is there a 5th one? I feel
They
like
didn't go to
ran-
Blue Alert and Basics Part 2 then, right?
Oh, you know what? Demon Planet.
There it is, yeah.
Okay.
That's gonna
Do
be
you think you
hilarious.
have it all figured
That's
out?
gonna be hilarious. If
I
that's
have
what it
nothing
is.
figured out.
If we're right, Sid, that category is yours. Just if it comes up, go to 500 just to get rid of it.
Instruments, though. I mean, there weren't very percussion instruments. So maybe
weren't?
people singing.
Are you sure?
Well, I mean, what, drums for like every answer?
Okay, then Tom Paris. Because at some point they would probably have Tom Paris doing every instrument just because this one called out sick, that one's on duty. Tom, we need you.
And it looks like John is back. Welcome back, John.
Oh, thank you. Sorry about that.
It's okay. We're just guessing the questions for next round.
They think they have it all figured out. What do
Yeah,
they-
I have
assume it's
nothing
gonna be like
figured out.
Kardashian quotes for the last one.
Well, the only one that's going to figure it out on this panel is going to be you, Sin, because I think it's time for me and Brad to get backstage.
Yep.
Well, thank you for playing. Appreciate it.
Indeed.
Awesome. Can I kick myself backstage on the phone? I think I can. Hang on. All right. I'll be back. Stage.
I'm sorry. How do I do it then, or do you?
We can put you backstage. It's fine.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
No problem.
Thanks for playing, Brad. Well,
Yes, you're welcome back for the chat later if you want.
Yeah.
Sorry for the delay, but we'll go ahead and bring up our contestants for round 3. We had some people been waiting backstage patiently for a while. I want to say hello to Mercer and to Darren
Nermal's
Wagner.
back.
Nermal was at the door.
Yeah, was she?
Who's at the bottom? I can't see.
Can you guys
That's
hear
Darren.
me?
Darren.
Oh, hey, Darren.
Yes.
Hey,
Let
can
me
you
turn
guys
off
hear me?
the.
Alrighty.
Welcome, gentlemen. And
thanks.
cat, feline.
Hello. Yeah, Nermal's. She's here, but she's on her bed, so I can't get her on camera.
No problem.
He cheats. He gets the answers from his cat.
That wouldn't surprise me.
No argument on that. You don't still notice.
How's it going?
Darren, I'm
Awesome.
trying to figure out what's your icon. Oh,
I had beef.
it's so
Negi
small I
maki
couldn't
for
tell
dinner.
at first. So small on my screen. I have to shrink the window to fit everything on my monitor. Gentlemen, are you ready to play?
Yeah, I had a great dinner, so I feel good.
I'm ready.
Feel good?
I'm ready to play. Yeah.
Let's do this.
All right.
Excellent.
Let's play Jeopnerdy.
Starting with brass and other instruments. Dominion War ships. Once again, you'll be naming the class.
Man, they had class names?
Blue Alert.
Sweet.
Roberts, you'll be naming the character based on the episode. And Dorian, fill in the blank.
Oh, what?
I don't want to be too predictable.
Are you purposely trying to make sure each game has each day has a common theme across the 3 games?
That happens sometimes.
I'm just wondering.
Not every time. All right, Sin.
All right, let's
You're
hope
the
this doesn't
champion.
backfire. We're going to go with Blue Alert for 500. Ah, son of a... they're definitely a Blue Alert. When did Chakotay land the ship? What is... we're just going to go with what is Dragon's Teeth.
That is incorrect.
No, I didn't think so.
Mercer. Mercer. Mercer, are you there?
We can't hear you if
First,
you are.
First to Mercer. Doesn't look like you're muted. And he dropped out.
Forfeit.
Well, John, what do you want to do?
I guess we'll wait a moment and see if he comes back.
All right.
And then fire him. Voyager
Yes,
had a nice
Tokyo.
bridge.
Yeah, I did like the Voyager bridge. One of the better parts of the show.
Yeah,
Especially
Paris
when
landed
it's
in that jump. Never mind. Sorry.
yeah, especially when it's lit with blue light like that. I think it looks neat.
Maybe normal 8 Mercer.
Yeah, like that cat on Captain Marvel.
Well, if he doesn't return in a moment, we'll bring up, I think we have Resolute backstage, if he doesn't mind filling in.
I'm gonna pass, so
I think I know this one now.
Oh, wait, I think he might be back.
Yeah, here he comes. Maybe.
hopefully he won't give us a 10-minute long explanation.
Yeah, he needs time to
Very
Google
old.
the answer.
All right, folks.
Okay.
You have 3 seconds to answer this.
I'm sorry, folks.
2,
Is
1.
that from
Time's up.
Is that from the 37s?
That is.
Is that
would
from
be
37s?
incorrect. That is incorrect.
All right. Darren, you were passing?
Sorry, my computer
Yes.
shut off by accident.
That was from Demon.
Ah, damn it.
Okay, Mercer. Welcome back. It is your turn.
I'll take Dominion warships for 400.
The USS Honshu.
What is Waltz?
Want the class of the
you want
ship.
the class?
Yes.
Oh, well, I guess. What is a Nebula class? I'm sorry, I thought you wanted the episode. What
You
is
would be
Nebula
correct.
class?
Yes.
Oh, excellent.
You got
Cool.
it. And you have the lead. However, it's Darren's
Oh.
turn.
I'll take Dominion War ships for 500.
The USS Valley Forge.
I didn't know. What is Galaxy class?
That is incorrect.
Pass.
I'm
Mercer.
passing as well. I'm passing as well.
Excelsior class.
It was a common guess in the last two boards. Cinnabon.
Blue Alert 400. What is it's her it's her early hairstyle. So it has to either be one of the two. We're gonna go with what is the 37s.
That would be correct.
Well done. Well done,
Good
Cinnabon.
job.
Mercer.
I'll take Andorian fill in the blank for 500.
A warrior race has few sympathies, but one we do possess is for blank.
Pass.
Darren.
Pass.
Cinnabon.
Pass. For bitches.
Family.
Close.
No. Darren, it's your turn.
Romulan fill in the blank for 400, please.
Andorian?
Andorian, I'm sorry.
They have no conscience, only their precious blank. They'll do anything to drive us off this planet.
What is logic?
That's right.
Good job, Darren. That was awesome. I kind of was thinking that's what it was. That's awesome.
All right, we got a tie game. All three players. Cinnabon, it's your turn.
You have to go with Blue Alert for 3. Oh my god. Oh, it's the one where they had where Data took over the ship. What is Brothers?
That's right.
Dude, he looks so much like an android. I'll pick Andorian for 300.
Perhaps you should forget logic and devote yourself to motivations of passion or gain. Those are reasons for blank.
Man, I'm so rusty today. Pass. I'm really rusty today.
Darren.
Pass.
Cinnabon.
I pass.
Murder.
Darren, you're in control.
I am? Oh,
Well,
okay.
welcome, T. Dowd.
All right, I'll go with Is it my turn? Or
Yes, it is.
it is, okay. I'll take Dominion warships for 300. So good at that.
The USS Venture.
It's Galaxy class.
That's right.
And we got a tie game again. Cinnabon, you can break it. It's your turn.
Just so someone else has a stab at Blue Alert, we're gonna go with Riker's trombone for 100 for brass.
Well, right.
What is a trombone?
Correct.
Nicely done. Mercer.
I'll go with Roberts for 400. $400.
All right. You can bet up to 1,000.
Yeah, I'll go 400.
400.
What do I have to name the episode?
Yeah, identify this Robert.
I have my orders, Captain. And now you have yours. You will proceed on course. Achieve orbit status and just leave the rest to me.
Robert Dick.
That's Richard.
Who is Robert F. Kennedy?
I'm afraid not. It was Robert Fox.
Okay,
Nothing to be
Darren.
afraid of. I got it wrong.
I'll take Dominion warships for 200.
The USS Majestic.
What is Miranda class?
That's correct.
No, not the Majestic. We'll go with Blue Alert for 2. Oh my god. What is Star Trek 5?
That is correct.
Eric gives it away.
Yeah, it's one of the Burge consoles, but I didn't know that like there were blue alerts in other ships and Voyager.
I'm surprised
do.
too.
I'll take brass instruments for no. I'll take Roberts for 500.
The counterclock incident.
Pass.
Darren.
Pass.
Well, I know what it is.
I mean, that doesn't. Who is Robert April?
That's right. This was a
That's
test
what
to
I
see who
knew.
was
As soon
paying
as I
attention in
passed,
the
I
earlier
knew.
rounds.
As soon as I passed, I knew what it was.
Friggin' TAS bullshit. I'm sorry.
Darren?
Yes,
Your
we'll
turn.
go with
It's your turn.
Dominion warships for 100, please.
The USS Hood.
What is Excelsior class?
That's correct.
Now let's finish up Blue Alert. What is Lifeline?
That is incorrect.
Oh man.
Mercer.
Pass.
Darren.
I'm passing.
There's a message in a bottle.
Oh yeah,
You know,
the other one.
If I had seen Andy Dick, I would have known it. Yeah.
Mercer, your turn.
I'll take Andorian for 200.
Captain Archer, look at the trouble you've gotten your blank into this time.
What is pink skin?
That's correct.
Well done. You're back into the positive territory.
Thank you.
Darren, you can take the lead here.
Go with brass and other instruments for 200.
Nella Darren.
He played the flute. She played something else. She played a keyboard, I think. It was a piano.
Very good.
Oh, I was right? All right, good.
Yes.
That was right, indeed.
Yes.
And we have a tie again. Cinnabon, it's your turn.
Man, we'll go with I guess Andorians for 100.
And tell blank we're not even anymore. He owes me.
Who is Archer?
That's correct.
Mercer.
I'll take Robert for 300.
Tin Man.
What's his name? Pass.
Darren.
Pass.
Not
Cinnabon.
the Admiral. I'll pass.
Robert DeSoto.
Oh, the Captain.
Indeed. Darren.
Go with brass and other instruments for 300.
Q.
Ah.
What is a trumpet?
Yeah.
That's right.
Uh-oh.
One of the most fun scenes in all of Trek.
Yeah,
I love that scene.
Cinnabon.
I don't know any more Roberts, so we have to go with instruments for 400, I guess.
Trelane.
Oh no. What is the what was that? It was an organ. Was an organ?
That is incorrect.
Mercer.
Pass.
Darren.
Pass.
Didn't he say that some like weird piano thing?
Yeah, it was a harpsichord.
Oh.
That's right.
I thought it was an organ as well.
Pretty sure it was an
First-
organ. You need to fact
I'll
check.
go with brass instruments for 500.
By the way, harpsichords are different. They don't respond to actual like force of pressure, so you just have to tap them.
I don't even know
Rooney.
who Rooney is. I'll have to pass.
Darren.
Pass. I don't know who Rooney is.
Yeah, pass.
Cinnabon.
I don't know who that is.
Mickey Rooney?
Yes. Yes. He played the trumpet, as Cisco commented after he got killed and his runabout blew up.
Oh.
Okay, Darren. 100 or 200?
Let's go with Roberts for 100.
Family.
Oh. Tee.
Robert Picard.
Yeah.
Who is Robert
That's right.
Picard?
That's right. It's crazy French and their silent T's.
Yeah.
Yes.
Through it. That should be like 500.
200.
The Man Trap.
No idea. Pass.
Sure.
I'm gonna have to pass.
Darren.
Pass.
Robert Crater.
I was trying to think of her name, and I figured I'd get his name, but I couldn't remember it.
1700.
Here comes the in the private chat, the Cosmo Buzz link. And consider how much you would like to bet on this final Jeopnerdy category as it comes up.
20th century technology.
Let's see. How does this work? In text entry, I put in the amount.
You don't have to push. I can see what you've typed already. You don't have to push enter. So if that's what you want,
Yeah,
that's good. All right.
Oh, we have to wait for the question.
Yeah, you do have to wait. I'm going to clear your entry boxes. Here comes the clue.
When confronted with 20th century technology, both Spock and this officer compared it to stone knives and bearskins.
Contestants, you have 30 seconds. Kapla!
Oh. I believe I got this one right. And I bet it all. No pressure.
See who wins this game. Mercer, you had 300 points entering final Jeopnerdy. Your response.
I'm sorry, the screen froze on me again.
We hear you, though.
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you. So Mercer responded with who is Tuvok. Unfortunately, that is incorrect. Let's see how much you wagered. 3 points, leaving you with 297. Interesting strategy. Let's see if it pays off for you. Cinnabon, you had 1,700 points, and your response? Who is Janeway?
Yeah, I got it back now, fortunately, and that is correct. Thank you.
Very, very good. How much did you wager? All of it? 3,400. You're currently in the lead. Let's see if you have enough to win.
Congratulations.
Darren, you had 2,700 points, and your response?
Oh, no.
Janeway, very good.
Very good. How much did you wager? Just 100
Yes.
points, leaving you with 2,800 points. And Cinnabon, you won again. Congratulations. You're the champion.
Nicely done.
Good job,
Thank you.
Cinnabon.
Good
Thank
categories
you.
as always.
It was a
Thank you.
hard-fought battle.
That was a
Worthy
very good
opponent
game.
Time.
Nicely done, all.
I thought
really.
I thought all the blue alerts happened on Voyager too. I was surprised to find out a couple of them
Yeah, it surprised me.
happened elsewhere. Yeah.
I think Voyager was the only time they directly referred to it as a blue alert, but I wasn't able to find a few others.
Right.
Simon Higgins, thank you for that. Harpsichords pluck the strings and always apply the same force, so don't vary in volume. Pianos strike the strings with a hammer, so how hard you press determines how hard it hits for volume.
Yep, and that's what I was clumsily trying to explain earlier, but Simon did it much better.
I didn't know that. I thought it was a piano, but
yeah, you don't have to press. It doesn't do anything if you hit them harder. The keys harder.
Interesting.
It's a very dainty, and the harpsichords are real small. They can, I've been in houses that had them in their living rooms. Tiny.
Hey, John, I got to ask something.
Yes.
Blue Alert in Star Trek V, was that not actually Blue Alert, but the blue hue from Shakari when they were still at Red Alert?
No, because the alert sign was blue.
Yes, I looked at that, and apparently the aux power alert on Star Trek V was blue.
Yeah, I
That's
wish I
right.
kind of waited because I got the harpsichord immediately because it's the only unique instrument in Square of Gothos, and I knew what it was. So I should
Could have swore that
waited,
instrument
and
had
I
like
could've-
pipes coming out of it though, so that's why I thought it was like a pipe organ.
Yeah, there's another instrument that's a lot like a harpsichord, and I couldn't think of the other one, so I passed. But, yeah, there's a different one that looks very similar.
Nice. Full house this week. Sweet.
Heck yeah.
Hey, John, yeah. No, I'm gonna say, John, I'm sorry. I when I was figuring it out in my head about Geordie and Dale, and I knew it was a mandolin. I was trying to figure it out, so I apologize that I didn't say it in the form of a question. Just want to clear that out.
That's okay.
No problem.
Yeah, that question, I was looking at it and I just completely was like, what the heck? And then I remembered the Merry Men episode. I'm like, oh, that's the... So the realization just hit me like a ton of bricks.
Honestly, it was a Dale thing that confused me. I thought you were talking about somebody else.
Yeah, I had to think for a few seconds to answer the Q instrument one because I'm play and yeah.
Well, yeah, he had the
he had the mariachi
I
band.
would have said trumpet, but with the mariachi band, I would have said yeehaw. Yeah, and that's the one where he makes Data laugh. He says, "Here, I have a gift for the one who showed me the most compassion," and he gave him the gift of laughter.
Yeah.
Stephen, hang on. I will rearrange some things, and a spot will open up so you can come up. Hang on. I'll be right back.
Drops be in.
Yeah, I'll drop out there, Mark.
No, it's okay.
You didn't play any other instrument, too. That was what I...
Have a good one, guys.
Oh, see you later, Mercer.
Later, Mercer.
Bye, Mercer.
See you later.
Oh, okay, Mercer. Bye, Normal.
Oh, she's here. Yeah, she heard you. Talk to you later.
Oh, Normal.
Hey, Sin, the 1 week where you don't proclaim to be champion, week 666 champion in a row or whatever, you actually clean sweep and kill everybody.
I haven't done that in a while. I've been using weird names for the last couple of times.
Yeah, I felt slaughtered.
I got
destroyed
today.
The Andorian quotes that I didn't get were the TOS ones because I don't know those as well.
But I would have got City on the Edge of Forever because they said started unknown. I remember that explicitly, so I would have got that episode, Final Jeopardy.
They don't say it started at the beginning of the episode either.
Tomorrow is yesterday.
The reason
but I don't think that was season 1.
The reason why was because Harlan Ellison didn't know anything about star dates when he wrote it, because he was one of the first writers hired, and they didn't have a series Bible yet for him to go by. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
miss Harlan Ellison. Yeah, he was great. A fantastic writer.
Oh yeah, great stories.
Great interviews too. So
Oh yeah, he gave some good ones.
he's a fire pisser, or he was a fire pisser of a man.
Yes.
I actually talked to him on the phone twice.
Oh, you did? Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know
The
that.
first time he chewed me out, and the second time it was an attaboy call, and it was night and day.
That's interesting.
Tell us when you got chewed out. That sounds like the more interesting story.
Okay, one of the things that writers are never supposed to do is send another writer a script. You only send the scripts, and I'm talking manuscripts, I'm talking about any kind of script, to somebody willing to pay you to use the script. And because Harlan, of course, had a lot of litigation and stuff like that throughout his career, and
Abel
anyway, we had
Griffin. How's it going, my brother?
Hang on, Mikey.
Hey, petty officer. Okay, so
I'm sorry.
the Harlan and I had a mutual friend who was a sculptor, and this friend had made a bunch of stuff based off of Harlan's written works, and so they knew each other because of that. And he kept telling me about, I had this one manuscript for the story, and he said, you should send that to Harlan. And I'll tell you what you think about it. I'm like, well, writers aren't really supposed to do that. And he's like, well, go ahead and do it, And the idea of someone like Harlan Ellison eyeballing one of my stories just became too alluring to me. So I printed off copies and sent it to his official mailing address, which was Harlan Ellison Recordings. It was really weird. It made it sound like he owned a record studio. But about 4 days later, he calls me, and for about 45 minutes straight, talked nonstop about why you don't do what I do, and all the legal things that could happen, as a result of this. And at the end, after he was all done and he exploded all of his energy out, I said, "Yeah, I agree with it." He said, well, then why'd you send it? I'm like, "Well, here's what happened." And it was one of those. It was one of those, situations where you calculate every, the possibility of this succeeding versus the possibility you're doing something incredibly stupid, and I went ahead anyway. And so he was sated, by that.
Yeah.
I told him, look, just throw it in your fireplace. Okay, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna. Well, he says, yeah, but what if I happen to write this? What if I happen to write something, in the future that happens to have a passing similarity to this through no fault of my own? He's like, that's why you don't. That's one of the reasons, his big reasons to do that. And I said, look, I'll sign whatever you need me to sign. I won't do that, And when he heard that, then it kind of simmered down a little bit. Second phone call was much better.
Yeah, I just wanted to relay a quick story that my wife Suzanne.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry.
Fine, go ahead.
I just wanted to relay a quick story that my wife Suzanne told me about. She actually met Stephen King, the horror writer, and she said she was 9 years old, right, babe? Yeah. So he was reading from and yeah, I think that's one of the few people that actually frightened her as a kid. Was Stephen King. I thought that's pretty cool. I would have loved to meet him myself. That would have been cool.
Stephen King's got those eyes, and yeah.
Oh, yeah, they peer into your soul.
The trailer for he wrote a short story called Trucks that he later turned into a movie called Maximum Overdrive. And the big gimmick was that he was directing the movie, right? That was the big selling point.
Yeah.
And the trailer had him. the trailer had him staring right at the camera and then pointing, going, "I'm gonna scare the hell out of you." You know, it's it's one of those things. Freaky eyes and everything. No,
Yeah,
the
well,
second phone call I got from Harlan was the second phone call I got from Harlan was
in the movie.
second phone
He's
call.
there at the
Mikey.
Second phone call
Yeah,
I got from
he's in the
Harlan
movie.
was
Sorry.
okay, Mikey, come on now. The second phone call I got from Harlan was much better because I'd written another short story that happened to have a passing familiarity with Soldier, which was the short story that got turned into a Outer Limits episode that he later sued James Cameron for because Terminator was a lot like it, and in fact, there was a Starlog interview that he had done. We're talking about James Cameron now, where he literally says, "I ripped off two Harlan Ellison short stories." So he had, the smoking gun, and so I'm like, well, I'll just send him a nice letter. I won't send him a manuscript, but I'll send him a nice letter letting him know about my concerns, right? And he called me. He's like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Send it to as many people as you can." He was just really like cheerleading. So the two sides of Harlan I got to hear.
Feel better, Jay. Hope to see you soon, my friend.
Rest well, Jay.
Hey, petty officer, we're having trouble
Brother
hearing
Jay.
you today.
Yeah, feel better.
I think his microphone's not. I mean, I can hear him, but it's like it's a different microphone than the one he's probably.
Yeah, Mr. President, I think you're on the wrong mic.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Yeah. Like maybe your webcam mic or something.
The volume.
Is that better?
That's better, but it's loud.
That's actually worse.
Do you want me to tune it down? Sorry.
Yes, please.
Please.
Sorry, is that better?
A little bit more, please, I think.
Sorry. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, guys. So did James Cameron have to pay up because of the lawsuit?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you.
Well,
I can
there was some money that he had to fork over, but a lot of it was also just trying to humiliate Cameron, which, to be honest, I think Cameron kind of deserved it. Every print of the Terminator had to say before the closing credits started, the makers of this film wish to acknowledge the works of Harlan Ellison. And if they failed to do that, he would get even more money. Now, what was funny was when it went to VHS, it had that. When it went to Blu-ray, the second edition of the Blu-ray, they left that out. Somebody told Harlan, he went right back after him and got another settlement. So it's there, and there were some other things that they did as well. Harlan was more about wasn't so much about the money; it was about the audacity. He just didn't
the principle of the matter.
Yeah.
I can understand the importance of recognition, so I don't blame the writer for complaining.
Yeah, after he wrote City on the Edge of Forever, and then Roddenberry and company modified it so heavily, he wanted his name taken off the episode. But because of the Writers Guild rules at that point, it had to remain on there because he contributed to the script. And it was after that he made sure in his contracts that if he didn't if anybody tampered with his writing before something went to screen, he had the right to use the pen name Cordwainer Bird, which is basically like flipping the bird to producers of what the show was. So, for example, in the 70s, he was involved in a Canadian American production called The Star Lost, which and the selling point of it was to him was that Douglas Trumbull, the cinematographer, had created this thing called Magicam, which would enable them to create sets that were miniature and then put people in it with a synchronized set of cameras. And so you could have these huge sets on very small budgets because they were miniatures. Well, they couldn't, this is how they got, Harlan on board. But then when they tried to use Magicam on the show, they couldn't get it to work, and so they went with a standard blue screen effect. And at that point, Harlan said it's Cordwainer Bird. And so if you ever see the Star Lost show, I think it lasted like 13 episodes. All the episodes, written by, produced by Cordwainer Bird. That was him.
Another YouTuber, Steve Shives, who I have disagreements over a lot of his content, but one of his YouTube videos that he did a comparison between what we got in Sitting on the Edge of Forever and the original script by the other guy. Sorry, I'm blanking on his name. And to be honest, I prefer what we got of Sitting on the Edge of Forever.
And it wasn't entirely Harlan's fault. Again, he was hired, one of the first writers that was hired to write for the first season of TOS, and he kept, like, he never got the series Bible, so he didn't know about Roddenberry's certain things about about the show, like how you can't have a firing squad.
Oh, I didn't realize that. If he never got a copy of the Bible before he wrote, then that's not fair, really. I didn't realize
Right.
that detail.
But I mean, that's how it was. And he, he was free. He wanted to go down to the set and watch the show being filmed so he could get a feel for it, and they wouldn't let him. They kept kicking him off the set. Then they locked him in an office. But yeah, because it was just the way things were there at Desilu at the time. But he didn't know, for example, that a drug dealer on the Enterprise isn't going to work. But he had been in the military. He knows that there's drug dealers in the Army and presumably the Navy as well. And so he didn't know that didn't fit with the utopian, egalitarian view of Starfleet that Roddenberry had. So,
exactly.
But there were other things. I mean, his original script was unfilmable because they just didn't have the budget. The budget would have required like the biggest blockbuster movie budget of all time in order to film.
Yeah.
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
And Mercer, if you're still watching, I hope you didn't leave to let me come in because Jeff had altered something so I could come in regardless. So if you're watching and you still want to, if you left on my account, you didn't have to. You can come back if you want.
Yeah, I thought I'd give.
Yeah, I was with StreamYard lately. I
thought I'd give Cinnabon a run for his money for round 3.
You did.
Yeah. Yeah, you did a great job.
I don't know why someone edited my.
I know, I was trying to
title saying Petty offers a rank for Cinnabon. I don't really get that. Why are they reassigning my?
Yeah, he's over the replicator. Are you sure?
Mikey, are you talking on the phone?
Replicator Cinnabon, or am I talking?
No, he's on Canadian internet.
No. I have one of these. I'm on Canadian internet.
you got a gerbil running in a circle.
But I am gonna try. But I am gonna try to have. Let's say. Hear me okay? I don't know,
we can hear you.
It's the whole Wi-Fi and okay, thank you. Yeah, it's the whole Wi-Fi and StreamYard. It's just that it has issues. I'm trying. LDG Free the Net. He's gonna try to help me out tomorrow and figure out what's going on.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I hope you cleared your entire day for that.
The main thing he's going to tell you is get rid of the commie block internet.
Mikey,
Yeah.
there's a wonderful piece of technology that's been out a few years ago. It's called, a few years now, it's called Category 6 Ethernet cable. You might want to invest in some.
The
It's way better than
category
what
6. I know. I wish I could afford stuff like that, but I'm on a fixed budget. I can't afford much.
I don't
Wi-Fi, I'm just
have
lucky I can afford even that right now.
my modem and router are Wi-Fi, but I run a cable from about a 60-foot cable from my modem all the way to my desk. So I can't stand wireless.
What? We can't hear you,
You're
Joff.
very lucky then, Darren, because I don't. Yeah, I don't have that kind
Thank
of
you.
wire. So that's
I
fun.
didn't think Cat 6 was
It's
that
Jeff.
expensive.
Jeff Franklin. Welcome back.
Mikey, I didn't think Cat 6 was that expensive. I would gladly donate the money to you, sir, if you needed money to buy some Category 6. We need to arrange a private form of communication to exchange bank details, but I'd gladly send you the money for a decent network cable.
Well, I guess Steve.
Sorry? Mr.
Frustrating.
Sorry, Tokyo said something and then Mikey said something, but I didn't catch either. Sorry.
I said nothing.
Oh, sorry, Tokyo. My bad.
No, it was just me, but it probably was cutting out again. Oh, and I wanted to say goodbye to Simon Higgins. I was going to tell him that he's got he was so well versed in so many instruments. I was going to tell him when I grew up, I played a recorder, a flute, a piccolo, drums, and all sorts of percussion instruments. All of them, marimbas, cymbals, you name it, everything. So.
I have
Even
a brother
cowbell.
that cowbell's great. Yeah, I have a brother that so when we were growing up, he played the trumpet. He played, I think, the clarinet. He played two other instruments, and I really wanted to play the trumpet when I got old enough. And my school did this audition thing where they let you try the instrument you wanted to play, then suggested an instrument they think you could play, and then did this final recommendation thing. And I wanted to play the trumpet, and they're like, "No, you should probably play this instrument." And me being stubborn, like, "No, I want to play the trumpet, so I guess I'm not in your band anymore."
Oh dear. What was the instrument they recommended you play?
If I remember correctly, it was the French horn. Something.
Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter what you play. Every instrument in a band is important. So, yeah.
True. I was just being stubborn because that was the one I wanted, and so I just switched over to solely doing choir. So.
Yeah.
And gets all full of spit.
Mind you, I have to admit, in New Zealand,
Hey, Brad, would you even say you were facetious?
Yeah. Quite a bit.
At times I can be.
You guys keep moving each other.
Who promoted me again? I deliberately.
Yeah, Simon said that he doesn't think the triangle is a substitute for a trumpet.
I deliberately didn't choose Mr. President this time because I think Tokyo deserves to be president again because he won twice in a row last week. Well, Cinnabon won this week. I'm not worthy to be Mr. President anymore. So that's why I chose petty opposite. But someone keeps promoting me.
Yeah, of course. I keep promoting you. We got to put somebody above Harry Kim. Okay, we put everyone above Harry Kim, but we still got
Precisely, Bramble.
Actually, that reminds me of a very humorous dream I had the other night. I actually had a Voyager dream where Harry Kim finally got promoted to lieutenant.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Harry
Hey,
Kim
Brad,
gets
that's
promoted
what
to
7 of 9 said. I said that's what 7 of 9 said. I'm above Harry Kim.
True. Well, let's say the time Harry Kim gets promoted to lieutenant, all the senior staff besides him are beamed off and like captured by aliens. So he's the literally last one.
Yeah, he's the last
No,
one.
no, no, no. I got one better for everybody. I got one better for
Now what do I
everybody.
do?
What's that?
I got one.
Okay.
I got one better for everybody. The opening scene of Star Trek Legacy is Harry Kim's promotion scene to the rank of Lieutenant Junior grade.
It's not too soon.
On the Enterprise G, so now we know what time we're in.
Now,
Yeah, he gets his promotion from Captain Wildman.
I can do you better.
Rear Admiral Wildman.
Yeah, right. No. I can do you better. I think that if because 7 of 9 is supposedly a captain of the Enterprise G. What if Kim is first officer? He's number 1.
I'm sharing an image.
It just seems. Yeah.
Comparison between Harry Kim and.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So true.
That's so funny. Nog got promoted and he's remained ensign. That's insane. Wow.
He was Lieutenant JG too.
Yeah. I
Also-
think they should have used the title midshipman instead of cadet and stuff like that. They did in the Wrath of Khan, which was good, but they didn't with the TNG. But that's just me.
Eric wants to know why Cisco's wearing a pimp hat. If you've watched Lore Reloaded's videos, you'd understand.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember the time Harry Kim had the relationship with that alien lady? All their people were in one like big spaceship sort of thing with different departments. And Harry was the only one that gets the mark in his permanent record, whatever it is, because he slept with an alien, and Janeway decided to be tough on him. Like Kirk never got that sort of thing. I'm assuming Tom never got that, but Harry Kim one time screws up and gets an alien STD and also gets a mark in his permanent record.
Yeah.
Riker said the chassé out of the service.
I always found Janeway too authoritarian, to be honest. Because I understand military standards, but they had no time away from the ship because they were stranded from home. He literally had no shore life, pretty much.
No, it didn't make sense because of the outcast. Riker did Soren, the genderless chick thing from the Janai planet, countless times. No mark in his record.
She was trying to do the galaxy a favor by stopping
He's
Kim's
the Riker.
bloodline.
He has the beard,
Yeah.
Very nice of you calling me honorable, Jeff. But
Well, you are very honorable.
You guys do realize that Ensign Kim was only one step above Red Shirt, and he's the only one to live? That's not fair.
He got his age handed to him.
technically Harry Kim did die. That the time the ship was split into 2 Voyagers, one of the Harry Kims did die.
Twice. He died
I was gonna
twice.
say, yeah, didn't he die and get
He
replaced
died
by an
twice?
alternate
Okay.
reality Harry Kim? I mean,
Yeah, he died in Emanations on his way back to
Okay,
the
well,
universe. To our universe, he died. They had to bring him
That's true
back.
too.
Okay, well, and he's wearing the wrong
Emanation.
shirt.
They didn't really have red shirts in the TNG era. I mean, Worf was like a disposable. It was like a reusable red shirt. All those redundancies.
Yeah, I've got a question for Tokyo and Darren because they're the ex-military among us. Now, I know that this one isn't particularly this isn't a Navy question, it's actually a different branch. But if you've ever seen Good Morning Vietnam, I cannot understand why the African American private is calling Robin Williams' character Sue because they're both enlisted. It makes no sense to me. Do any of
Hollywood.
you know if there's a real life reason why that was happening? Or is that just Hollywood screwing up, getting it wrong?
Well, that whole movie had a lot of liberties taken. For example, Robin Williams had a commissioned officer in charge of him who kept demanding he kept saying, "I want to be saluted," and it's like, well, you don't salute indoors, you know. And you know, and so you know
movie was mixed up.
Yeah, it was written by people who didn't know any better, apparently. But yeah.
Most Hollywood movies that
but
involve the military
Eric,
are
he
like
could have
that. They're
been
just
so
written
much
by.
more.
Thank you, Mikey.
Oh no, that's what I was saying. It could have been so much more.
True.
Yeah, go ahead, Tokyo.
I think he deserved better.
They tried to make him the O'Brien of the show.
They just forgot that. Although I will say that, I mean, Voyager was one of those we used to call ships that had slow promotions. A certain thing I can't say. It's broadcast, but that's kind of what Voyager was because
wearing a pimp hat.
You know, part of the reason why I think Harry Kim didn't get promoted, or because really nobody did. I think although Tom Paris did, but you know, he was, I don't know.
Tom Paris.
But, yeah, Tom Paris did get promoted, but I mean, technically, nobody should have got promoted because Janeway, as a commanding officer of a ship, didn't have the ability to give anything other than a field promotion, and that's usually without a pay increase. But you know, she didn't have the resources to pay him either. So I mean, it just you know, one of those things where really, in order to get promoted, you have to, you know, she has to send a communication up to, you know, top brass, you know, letting them know that this person is no longer an 01, they're an 02. Yeah. And she couldn't do that for most of the Voyager series. Yeah, so really, nobody should have gotten promoted.
Didn't Tuvok get promoted at one point, or am I just misremembering?
Yes, he did.
Well,
yeah, he got promoted. Yeah. I would hate to be at the debriefing.
The real promotion.
Yeah, he did.
Darren, I would hate to be at that debriefing.
A temporary demotion.
Well, I think. Yeah. Well, I think more than half the crew, John, they were Maquis, right? Former Maquis.
It wasn't more than half.
Was it more than half the crew of the Voyager crew?
No, if it was more than half were Maquis, that would be a Maquis ship. It wouldn't have been ran in the same way. I mean, Tuvok had a class of. He did like a basic training course for the Maquis crew members that never had any Starfleet experience, and there were several, but not really a whole lot. I think there were 4 or 5. Yeah.
Do you flatter me more and more with every different screen transition. You promote me more and more.
What's wrong with that?
I just feel a bit unworthy, that's all. But thank you for your kind words.
You're very
Hey,
welcome.
Mikey.
Well deserved.
Thank you.
Mikey, I don't know. You might be lagging a little bit. You may want to leave and come back in.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try that.
And the cops are after
Run,
Darren.
Darren.
Yeah, that's my
Emergency transport.
The MPs are coming after you. You're giving away all the secrets.
Now, here's an interesting question. If transporters were real in real life, would any of you be brave enough to use them, or would you be convinced that it's actually killing you and just creating a clone of you?
I'll be honest, I would totally use them because I already have a long enough commute to work, and yet no, if I have to die and be whatever, I'll take the chance with transporters.
Just out of curiosity.
Sorry, what?
So worst comes to worst, you won't feel it.
That's true. How long is your commute?
Well, it used to be about an hour during good weather, good roads, and during the winter about 2 hours.
Oh my
terrible.
goodness!
But
Where do
it
you
is.
live? Sorry.
Yeah, I'd rather not say that, but just it
Okay.
gets bad in the winter. I'll just say that. But now, same company but different store. My commute is down to about 35 minutes, 45 in bad roads, bad weather.
Okay.
Where are you located?
I
again,
guess I don't have
Randall?
it so bad. It's only 20 minutes for me. Maybe a little less.
But even with a really big commute, Brad Wolf, you could get around that by just using shuttlecraft, taking it to low Earth orbit and coming down again. You don't need to transport to solve that problem.
Yeah, that's true, but
Yeah. So, given the choice, would you still opt for the transporter, or would you opt for a shuttlecraft instead?
it depends on who's driving the shuttlecraft. Let's just say one of my brothers.
That leaves me
I
out.
would not. I would not risk it at all. Like, no.
Fair enough. So you choosing transporter. What
Yeah.
about what about you, Jeff? I'll go across the line horizontally, and then I'll ask the people on the next line and so forth. So what
I
about
would
you,
probably.
Jeff?
I would probably have to be convinced that it was safe.
Yeah. Yeah. I would be a total McCoy / Pulaski and not go near it, to be honest, even though it looks fun on
And
TV.
I'll also say this. I usually, although I didn't this past Friday morning, I usually enjoy driving to work.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want a shuttlecraft? We learned in this last week's episode of Strange New Worlds that shuttlecraft are faster than
Excuse me?
starships.
Excuse me? What is this strange new what? Huh?
What's this Trek thing? I don't know.
I wouldn't mind having a job in New York City, but then having a transporter that takes me back to Wisconsin, because the money you make in New York City goes a lot farther in Wisconsin. So, if you just like for example, like a regular old gas station attendant makes like 50,000-60,000 a year, right? So That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. So,
yeah, but you
just
still have to
give you an
pay
idea.
taxes in New York then, though.
Yes, you do.
Well, not if your address is in. But Steve, even after taxes.
No, if your employment's in New York, you have to pay all New York taxes.
But
You're
even
taxed 3
after
times.
all that, it's still
Yes.
more money than you would make in Wisconsin. I mean, you're paying
Right.
Wisconsin's gotta be taxed too. But no, when it comes to transporters, the thing that I remember was there was an episode on Enterprise called Vanishing Point where Hoshi went through the transporter and then shenanigans ensued. And one of the things that happened was Trip told a ghost story.
I remember
Said
that.
the first long distance transporter test took place in Madison, Wisconsin, and I always thought that was interesting because that's about 2 hours from me. But then the whole episode ended up being a hallucination, so we don't know if that information is actually like valid within the narrative at all.
If I remember correctly, at the end of the episode, Hoshi mentioned the guy that Trip had mentioned in that ghost story, and Trip's like, "Who?"
Yeah. So,
Cyrus who?
Maybe she knew about it and he didn't, but that's probably not feasible. Engineer. But then the writers of those seasons, the first 2 seasons, weren't great.
So what about you? Okay, would you be a transporter or a shuttle guy?
I think I'd be in the same boat as the professor. I'd have to be convinced that it's safe, but it also depends on who is trying to convince me that it's safe.
Yeah.
If it's the private, if it's the private developer, then maybe. But if it's somebody like Joe Biden, forget it. I'll take the shuttlecraft any day. Actually, I'll walk.
I guess it would
I'd
also
walk.
depend on the transporter operator.
I would
True.
take the shuttlecraft because the shuttlecraft has a transporter inside of it, so you get the best of both worlds.
Well, that's a Starfleet shuttle has, and not all of them either. Shuttle pods don't. But I think
Professor brings up an interesting point. Who is doing who's the transporter operator? If it's Asian Kyle or Yeoman Rand, forget it.
Or whoever that was on episode 1 of
yes, the new
Strange New whatever.
The new
it is
Chief J, the new transporter chief.
Yeah, that's
the new chief that looks
wow,
like he's 12
I didn't
years
connect
old.
that
I
either.
was waiting for them to say that was Kyle that transitioned.
I just had a. Okay.
The name of that
The
person.
new transporter chief. Yeah, I didn't connect that one. Good one, Darren.
Okay.
That was me.
Yeah, no, I had a question.
Oh, was you? Sorry.
Okay, if
I'm
you have
the guy
a
who said it. What are you talking about?
transporter shuttle.
I said it the other
No, I'm
day.
just saying, if you have a shuttle transporter.
Well, I said it 5 minutes before you did.
Like, isn't it smaller?
No, you didn't.
Hang on, Mikey's trying to talk.
Yeah, prove it.
You prove it.
No, all I was saying was with a shuttle transporter, Mr. President, with a shuttle transporter, it depends, right? Because I think if you're in a shuttle, don't you have to, and you want to transport from it, don't you have to bend down like a hunchback or something? Isn't it smaller?
No.
I don't think you can actually stand up in one. Or I guess he can, but.
Worf and Data were standing up when they used it.
Yeah. Nice butt.
Trying to get cheap USB light into the camera. There we go.
It's one of those proctology cameras.
Open wide. Not that.
Deodorant.
Cough.
Cough. I did not consent for the medical procedure. I did not consent.
Well, one thing about the shuttles, though, I mean, if you pay attention to the ETA, it's like I think the shuttle pods can get from like New York to the North Pole in like 20 minutes. They're faster than any commercial jet airliner we have today as well.
Heck yeah, it can get across the continent in 2 days versus 3 days on a starship.
The propulsion is simple impulse, and that's enough for me.
I'll take a runabout.
Runabout would be nice.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
But, sorry, John.
Though I think that.
Mr. President, go ahead.
I haven't asked you yet, but John, would you be a transporter man or a shuttlecraft man?
I think I would probably be more of a shuttlecraft man myself. There's enough funny things about how the transporter works. It would definitely make me leery of it.
Yeah, fair enough. You don't want to end up
Barkley had the
like
right
me.
idea.
Yeah.
One wrong storm, and then you're in some sort of
Separation.
universe.
Yep.
Barclay.
Or you're
Yeah.
split in two, or you're merged with somebody you don't like.
Yeah,
to a new being.
don't take plants with you when you transport. Something bad will happen.
No.
Or you turn into a blob and you end up screaming on the transporter pad.
Or watch out for being split into two.
Yeah.
I didn't understand how in the movies, like in Team P and in all the movies actually, they have effects of people talking or screaming during transport, and I don't understand how that's possible because they're not assembled molecules at that point. How would they have the muscles and the vocal cords to scream?
It's
Yeah, I think he's
is
talking
Well,
about
in
the
the motion picture, they were
where that
forming
first Vulcan.
when they screamed.
Yeah, and in Star Trek 6, you can hear Kirk yelling, damn it, as he's being beamed up.
Yeah.
Because
They had a full-on conversation in Star Trek 2.
yeah. So can you think of the sci-fi workaround? I like to try and think of workarounds to make sense of it.
Well, I want to mention
of disbelief intact, but
there was
go ahead, Dave.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
Go ahead, Darren.
There was a TNG episode, I believe it was called Newground, where there were these terrorists on a planet that used a different kind of transporter system. It was called dimensional shunting or something, where they basically went into an alternate, like a pocket universe, and then came out wherever they wanted. So it was more like a portal system, kind of like the Iconians. It wasn't breaking down your body, turning it into energy, and transmitting it somewhere, reassembling.
Yeah.
But the radiation was killing them.
Yes, it was dangerous, and so they were basically using it was an eventual death sentence. But I thought that was an interesting idea as an alternative to transport.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
What was that? What was that technology? Was it still transporter technology in that TOS episode about the cloud people that were up there and the ones that were down on the ground? You remember that one? The ones that were up in the Cloud City? They had a
Cloud miner.
transport system
Cloud miners.
from that, didn't they? Obviously. Yeah, the cloud. Yeah.
Can't get my.
Because I know one of the miners jumped off. Because one of the miners jumped off from a balcony of that Cloud City to avoid
You're breaking up again, Mikey.
captured or something. I remember that.
Hey, what were they mining in the clouds? Were they just mining clouds?
So you think?
Well, the mines were in the clouds.
So you think, Darren, that in Star Trek, in the TOS movies, they were using a completely different form?
Oh, was it uranium or?
What's that, Mr. President?
So you think in the movies, Star Trek 1 to 6, they might have been using a completely different version of transporter technology that didn't involve breaking
Well,
down.
the transporters every generation get, at least in the old, Desilu Berman things, they got a little bit better with each generation. For example, I don't remember site-to-site beaming on TOS. I think you had to go to the transporter room in order to be transported. But on TNG, they could beam people from a planet directly onto the bridge.
Yeah.
They did it quite often. And yeah, so some improvements there.
That one episode of Voyager where Torres had the bone lock idea.
Yeah. Skeletal lock.
Skeletal lock, yeah.
They just beat up their bones.
Yeah.
That bothered me forever too. Like skeletal lock, all they do is beam up the inside of the person. Everything.
Yeah,
How does that work?
but the funniest transporter scene ever though is in Spaceballs, where Mel Brooks is trying to beam over, and it's right next door, but they turn him backwards, and he didn't realize he had such a good-looking butt. Do you guys remember that scene?
Oh yeah.
And then he said, "I'm going to walk," and opens the door, and he's there.
Yeah, he's right there.
One of the best transporter moments, in my opinion, is when Jillian in Star Trek IV got beamed onto the bird of prey because she had, she didn't realize, she didn't know what was happening. She screams the whole time, and I thought that was pretty hilarious. That was a legit
Captain
reaction.
Hicks' scream was classic.
Yeah.
That was like,
she didn't get nauseous either. She just got, she was disoriented, but that's it. And she knows something's going on before she even sees the transporter.
I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that part, Darren. She realized something was happening before the effect took place.
Yeah.
Like,
So she could feel her insides being dematerialized.
She saw Spock.
It's Klingon transporters.
Well, yeah, and then she saw Spock the first time, and he says, "Welcome, Doctor."
Can't take the pain of the Klingon transporters. You're unworthy.
Sorry, what's it about Klingon transporters? Okay.
I said, if you can't take the pain of the Klingon transporters,
yeah,
you're unworthy.
And what's funny though is that it was the Klingon transporter was basically the same effect as the Federation one. It was just red instead of blue, but that was true even on Star Trek 3. But
If I remember correctly, it was different in TOS.
Yeah, though I have to admit. So I have to admit, when I answered that question correctly, the one with malts to a chew. Yeah, I was just saying that I love that part because the whole planet's blowing up around him, and Kirk's there, and he goes.
Oh, the next scene after that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Remember the scene after that one where he gets Kirk points the page at him and goes, "You live or die. I do not deserve to live. Fine, I'll kill you later."
Yeah.
John Larroquette.
Really
Yes. Wait, you said you would kill me. I lied.
And then he was eaten by Scotty.
Yeah. It wasn't the Klingon food packs that gave him a sour stomach. It was malts.
I know, it's a great movie.
What's your favorite transporter effect, like both visual effect and sound effect combined? I still like the original series, the most, but I got a soft spot for the Berman era TNG one too.
Yeah.
Mikey?
I like the Voyager transportation.
I hated Voyagers though.
Yeah.
I hated Voyagers because it had this.
I like
this. It had this pulse effect that I thought was
yeah.
It reminds me of when the Enterprise went to warp in TMP, how there was a concentric ring of stars that would form in front of it because it was the 70s, right? Everything was about stars, and it's like, well, that's lucky that you get this concentric ring of stars every time it goes to warp, and that's what the Voyager transporter effect reminded me of. It's like, it's just, there's nothing wrong with the TNG version.
Yeah. Well, no, I like
there was nothing wrong with the TNG one. I like
my thing.
Yep. Yeah.
Probably my favorite would be would be TNG, but my next favorite would be Star Trek 2.
Star Trek
Yeah.
2 and 3's transport effect was kind of weird. It had, but I like there's something about that that wind chime sound from TOS whenever somebody's transporting. And I did like on that show that shall not be named because the professor doesn't like us to mention it. That they actually do have the same sound effect as what they used in the cage in Menagerie. You know, with that eerie sound that goes along with it.
Oh, okay, I didn't pick up
Slightly
on that.
different.
You can mention
Well,
that
you know
show.
what I like?
It's not
You know what
Discovery,
I
so it
like
slightly gets a
about-
pass.
I don't know
Yeah,
why you wasted
very
time on
slightly.
that show.
Slightly.
No, guys, just for a sec, I just wanted to say that in Final Frontier, I really did enjoy the fact that even though we know that's not God, and even though he's standing right there, Kirk, you know, I thought for a moment for sure, you know, somebody could just misstep and shoot him, but of course they didn't because Spock was at the gunnery chair. So that was kind of a cool reveal, though, because I thought for sure they'd have a Klingon gunner there, but it was Spock. So I was like, okay, well
It was
that's
all a
cool.
dream anyway. Come on.
Yeah.
Why not?
Sure.
I'd have to say the best transporter for me would definitely be the non-canon show Enterprise. The effect, I had to take a stab at you, Mr. Prez. I'm sorry, but the transporter effect was really cool because it started off in the center and then spread out to form the traveler.
Right.
And the sound was very subtle, kind of how I would imagine a real transporter would be. Now,
I liked how. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Unfortunately, it looks painful because you dematerialize from the center of the inside of your body, so basically around your spleen. And if the transporter is not in sync, you're feeling everything before you rematerialize at your destination.
I liked how most of the crew were terrified of using it, and in the first episode when they have to use the transporter on Archer to get him off the cell station.
He's like, "Are my titties here?"
He's feeling his chest, and the first thing out of Trip's mouth was an apology for having to use the transporter on him. I thought that was some stuff there.
You know, for me, it wasn't so much the transporter. I think it was.
Mikey, you're cutting in and out. Why don't you go ahead and reboot? Mikey?
Alt F4.
Yeah.
The sonic shower.
Mikey, can you hear me? Mikey, can you hear me? Mikey, can you hear me?
I think he's delayed quite a bit, actually.
I think at this point, would it be like communicating with it on an HFM radio, to be honest? Would be more stable than an internet connection.
Okay, I like pretty much TOS one. I don't really mind many of the transporters, but if you guys don't mind me stepping outside of Star Trek, I like the Stargate rings transporter. Just the rings coming up and the sound they make is just personally I like that aesthetic.
Yeah,
that's more practical. I like that too. That's more of a practical transporter.
All the Stargate transporters make a lot better sense than anything in Star Trek. It's actually just energizing you and sending you out.
Yes, I was going to say that it's not my favorite necessarily, but I do like the Cardassian transporters on DS9.
Yeah, because they just kind of have that swirl, and it's that Cardassian brown, amber, whatever it is.
I mined the disco interest. I think everybody mines it because nobody doesn't acknowledge that doesn't exist. They acknowledge it doesn't exist.
But it has a cool effect.
Acknowledge what existing?
That's in an alternate future anyway.
Yeah.
You guys don't like
I
the
don't know what you're talking
Ferengi
about.
transporter, where it's just a twisty swirl of light that goes around you?
I actually, you know what? I do like some of the transporter effects in the J.J. Abrams movies. I think Beyond was cool.
Boot Mikey,
that was
please.
a cool effect.
Get him out
Good
of here.
work. Come on, he's on a motorcycle. Come on, he's on a motorcycle with the girl, and then they transport from the motorcycle. I thought that was cool.
That effect is so. I'm sorry, Mikey. I got to go up against that one. That effect is so generic with the swirly, glittery crap. No.
Well,
one of the things that bothered me about Strange New Worlds in their first episode of the first season was the idea that they step onto the transporter in their uniforms, but when they land on the planet, they have new clothes. And
that whole thing bothered me.
They didn't even have that on TNG. I mean, you had to get into costume before you beamed down to the planet. And
Sure did.
And on Strange New Worlds, you know, they actually beam a booster into Spock, so you can use the transporter to administer long distance medical care, basically.
Well, in TNG, when they in First Contact, when they were getting in the turbo lift to go to beam down to Earth, the guy was like, "Computer, 20th century clothes." So I just assumed that he was telling that to the transporter.
Yeah, well, I assumed that was a replicator command. You know,
true. Yeah, I just didn't think
in
they
the
had enough time to
transporter.
get clothes.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I also the replicator too.
They had the
made sense to me.
They had the replicator room near the hologram. Well, they had it near the hologram room, so yeah, sure. They could have just beamed it.
They would have had one in the transporter room.
Don't get me wrong.
Okay, Darren. Also, that same scene that bothered me, along with the clothes, they programmed in tricorders and phasers and communicator.
Yeah, that was.
Secure classified equipment can now easily be programmed into a transporter system.
Right.
Is this in the new season?
No, it's in the first season of Strange New Worlds. First episode.
Episode 1.
I'm going to be honest. I haven't rewatched any of those episodes, so I've forgotten most of them.
That's a good choice.
I mean, I like some of the aesthetic choices of Strange New Worlds way more than I like, than on Discovery. I mean, I like that retro '60s look. I mean, in the very first episode, they showed us like the crew's mess, right? Like their 10 forward. It looked like an elegant restaurant, you know. And I don't know that we've ever had like a scene in there except for in the first episode where they just showed it. And I want to see more of that. But at the same time, I kind of agree with Salty Trekker. It looks like they're trying to this season scale down the size of the Enterprise to make it conform more with the older show.
I like the ship designs. The ship designs are really good in this. Now the ships themselves, the way they behave, they're trash. But the way they look, it's great.
Yeah.
Including the Enterprise.
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to. Yeah, I just wanted to respond to Aravic real quick and say I'm House Gryffindor Aravic, so we'll have a discussion about that later sometime.
But
Thank you. I just wanted to respond to Aravic's thing.
I think that the sick bay set is also smaller this season than it was.
Yeah, I said that. I said that too. That it looked a lot smaller this time.
Yeah, because it was like 3 decks high.
And if they got rid of that transporter and sick bay?
Yeah, well, I mean, his daughter isn't in the transporter buffer anymore, so.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I still don't think I watched it though, because I hate the illusion of Captain Kirk. It's not Kirk.
I'm sorry, what was that, Mikey?
Oh, what I was going to say was that don't forget in the episode Relics that Scotty was in that transporter buffer for all that time.
And that was the first time. That was the first time we'd ever seen it, and apparently nobody had ever tried that before. Riker and Geordi were like, they didn't know if somebody could survive inside a transporter buffer for that long, and it's one of the arguments against Strange New Worlds being in continuity is that apparently this was something that could be done 10 years before Captain Kirk. So, it's like something that Scotty came up with.
I thought he did it after.
Right.
Yeah, Darren, I thought he did it after the Enterprise B incident, or Enterprise A incident. I'm sorry, Enterprise A incident. I thought he did it after that.
Yeah, the point is that Scotty didn't come up for that until much later.
And also, Scotty's pattern was degraded as well. Franklin died, but Scotty's pattern was degraded, so that explains how he could forget that Kirk died on the B and he was there.
Well, I always chalk that up to just being disoriented by being in the transporter buffer for so long. I mean, but, we all know the real reason why, but
maybe.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know, Brad.
Because that scene hadn't been written yet, or that the movie hadn't been written at the time they filmed that episode.
But you think Brandon Braga and the other guy who wrote Generations would have remembered the Route episode and written it scene differently. But unfortunately,
Part of the issue may have been that Scotty originally wasn't supposed to be in Generations. Yeah. They wanted to get Spock and McCoy, but they couldn't get Nimoy and Kelly to do it.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. True. They wouldn't insure DeForest Kelly.
That's true. Yeah. Interesting timelines.
Well, I can't remember why did Nimoy and DeForest object. I can't remember the reason.
Why weren't they in Generations? Yeah,
they were not in Generations.
They thought that their send off at the end of 6 was good enough. And yeah. So, but they were able to get Doohan and
Koenig.
Walter Koenig. So
they felt that there wasn't anything done with their characters that was interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus,
we already know what's
Doohan and Koenig were
don't forget that
talking to
DeForest
Shatner
also
at the time.
appeared at the beginning of Encounter at Farpoint. Yeah.
Well, right, but that was a decade earlier.
Yeah.
Professor, what did you? Since you're a Babylon 5 fan, and there might be other Babylon 5 fans here, what did you think of the trailer of the new Babylon 5 movie? Have you seen it yet?
Yes, I have seen the trailer. I think the animation is excellent. What I'm really interested in knowing is how the characters, the actors that had passed, the new voice actors they've got, how close they're going to be to the originals.
Yeah, they showed Jakar briefly, but it really wasn't enough to judge his voice.
Weird voice.
The voice samples I've heard, they're pretty close, but you can notice the difference.
On that note, as much as I love time travel stories, I'm actually sick to death of it. And I can thank Star Trek for that. I'm not sure I'm going to like this.
Okay.
To me, I get a vibe of All Good Things with it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. It's like, we've seen this already.
Same.
I'm not sure I'm going to like this. I'm going to watch it.
JMS is a really good writer. So I want to see what he does with it. I'm sure he's going to do something different. It's not just going to be a rip-off of All Good Things.
It might actually be that, but it might be his revenge story against DS9. I'm just saying. It might exactly be almost a direct rip of All Good Things minus Q And even then he might have a cute like character in there. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past him.
That wouldn't be a dig at Deep Space Nine then if it's all good things that he's basically.
But it would be a stab at Star Trek in general. He also he was also given the finger by Les Moonves, but didn't he pitch a Star Trek on the off time? Yeah, and he got the finger from Les Moonves.
Yeah, well, Les Moonves was a man of low character, anyways.
Yeah,
huge deal. But no, my favorite time travel stories are the ones that aren't actually time travel. Like Spectre of the Gun from the original series, where it's all sort of a telepathic mindscape that they're in of the Old West instead of, or for example, Lone Star, I think was what it was called, or North Star in season 3 of Enterprise, where they find the planet
North Star was awesome.
A Western planet that was populated by cowboys that got abducted, and stuff.
North Star was awesome.
North Star was good.
I did enjoy that episode.
So they travel through time without really traveling through time.
Yeah, and it's not a holodeck either, so that's a big bonus.
Yeah.
I had the holodeck stories too.
I'm fiercely anti-holodeck. I don't like the holodeck at all as a concept.
I like holodecks, but there's so many holodeck gone awry episodes that
Well, I mean, there would be a lot more people like Barkley who lived to be on the holodeck. I mean, if there was something like that that existed, most people would be working every day just so they could go to the holodeck for a few hours a day.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I'm raising my hand right now. I'm guilty. I would be one of them.
Me too.
It would be very addictive.
Especially in this world.
And Deep Space Nine kind of started out heavily implying that the holosuites in Quark's bar were pretty much just brothels, holographic brothels. And they and it was so funny was how I think there was an episode where Quark mentioned that he's had to broaden the holosuite programs that he has because these Federation people don't seem to like the stuff that he's been selling for years to everybody else.
Well,
they
Riker
want historical battles and stuff.
Well, Riker made Minuet, so now we definitely know that it's a freaking brothel type of thing.
Yeah. Well, that was what was weird was, because the holodeck started out being very different than what it eventually became as far as the explanation for how it worked. But when the binars came and augmented the Enterprise computer, which was what they were supposed to be there for, they did, pretty much. They did do that. I mean, holodeck I think became even more lifelike after they messed around with it. I remember the episode where Riker is told that it's 10 years or 15 years in the future, and he's got amnesia. The scene where he finally finds a video of this wife that he's told that he had.
Yeah.
And he sees it, and it's funny because that's if you were it sort of rewards the people that remember the episode with the binars because they recognized Minuet probably before Riker did.
Do you remember when the Barkley episode and Troy went? I think it was Troy and Riker went onto the to grab Barkley, and it was the sword fighters,
Three Musketeers.
Three Musketeers. Thank you. Yeah. And the Riker one, he made him short and aggressive. I laughed so hard at that. I really did.
He looks at Troy. She's like, "Well, you are tall. Some people might find that intimidating." And she's being all very clinical about it and telling these guys that you need to settle down. it's not such a bad thing that they make holographic duplicates of you, and then she sees her as, you know, the goddess of love, and she gets all upset.
She's pissed. Yep.
Yeah.
Muzzle
And
it.
Rocket does the exact same thing to her as she did to them.
And that is something that on New Trek they would never do. They would never have a female character be telling the male characters, "Oh, get over it." Then all of a sudden she can't get over it because, you know, revealing a bit of hypocrisy. It would be the roles would be reversed today. It's kind of like on Strange New Worlds, this first episode. Something that kind of bothered me was the inspectors and the base crew that were there to overhaul Enterprise and, you know, give it maintenance and stuff. We're all dudes, and in particular with Uhura, the guy was totally reasonable, and she was just went off on him, and I didn't care for that. Now, in real fleets, there is often some animosity between the people who actually use and keep the equipment on a ship working, and then the ones that are at the base, they're specializing in maintenance and stuff on that equipment, and there's a fight over who it belongs to at that point and stuff like that. That part was real, but it was on gender lines because, you know, Ortega's had a guy that didn't like the modifications she made to the helm, and, you know,
I had a huge problem with that whole scene, Darren. Thank you for bringing that up. Because as soon as they were done telling off the techie, the camera would focus in on Ortegas and then focus in on Uhura, like waiting for them to say, "Yeah, white dude, take that."
Yeah, but
Like,
I mean, you know, in particular the one with Uhura, because it's like Uhura had to know that they were going to be doing this stuff to her console ahead of time. So why wasn't she prepared for it? You know, it's you know, and you know, just the fact that she happened to get a mysterious, you know, communication from Lon doesn't negate the fact that she shouldn't, you know, she wasn't going to get, you know, she wasn't supposed to have the thing up and running anyway for their
right.
you know,
That
who's
whole
going to
scene.
hail you? You're in space dock, you know.
That whole scene was just off the wall stupid.
Yeah.
And all for
And,
political clout. That's it.
And I liked Uhura in the first season, but now that she's an ensign and has her commission, she seems to be developing an attitude. I don't like that.
Oh, next episode, and yes, I'm spoiling it if anybody hasn't seen it because it's not worth protecting. Pike is going after another lawyer, or a lawyer to help out number one, who's also a woman. Now, I don't have problems with him going to seek a woman out, or a lawyer who happens to be a woman. I don't have problems with it if it wasn't being used as for political clout. Now, in this preview, he ends up getting emasculated in the freaking preview by the female lawyer. This would have been an excellent opportunity to bring in Sam Cogley, attorney at law, to really bring it home that this is not a reboot, but yet they screwed up again.
Yeah, it's back to business as usual for Secret Hideout, to be sure.
Yep. After Picard season 3 is done, it's like, yeah, you guys want more Trek? You're going to get it our way. That's why I'm hoping we don't get Legacy at all.
Well, I only want Legacy really if we get Todd Stashwick back as Shaw.
In something, because he was really good.
He was the breakout character.
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
I think Legacy would be terrible because it's just going to be the Seven and Ralphie show.
I'm kind of glad that Star
with,
Trek 4 hasn't resolved their issues yet.
No, they don't have to have Raffi on the show. You know, they were going on their shakedown cruise, and, you know, who's to say she didn't, you know, leave after that? I mean, you know, having them both in the top number 1 and number 2 spots, you know, it led to my little thing. I sort of curmudgeonly called the Enterprise G spot. You know, and her little thing when they go to warp, and we don't know what she uses to give the command to go to warp, and I'm thinking it's got to be flick it.
Or lick me, Rappy.
I mean,
Oh.
I am interested in seeing what Q would have in store for Jack Crusher, but that part intrigued me. But I don't. I didn't like. I don't mind Seven being there, but having her promoted to captain and turning
I
the
don't mind
Titan
either,
into
but
the
if they don't
Enterprise
bring
was dumb.
Metalis back and they just use a Kiva, it'll just be essentially Seven just turning Son Picard into her bitch in the entire time.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sin is
I mean,
right.
there has got to be some animosity at
Hi,
Secret
Matthew.
Hideout about Metalis being the guy who actually put Secret Hideout Trek into the top 10, most viewed streaming shows list for the first time. I mean, and Picard did it again after the show ended, because it's because of good word of mouth. Actually, it broke the top 10 again a week or two after the show ended, because all the people that were waiting to binged it, and so
And are still doing so.
Again, that's got to be a sticking point, because here's this guy from the Berman era who came back and kind of showed him how it's done in a lot of ways, and they probably don't like that at all.
Nope,
Hey,
they didn't.
Steven, can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, Steven, how come you don't have those rocket powered jets I ordered for your seat there? I was hoping to get some rocket powered jets for your seat. I guess my buddy in Houston never delivered them. I was trying to get it to you. I'm sorry.
What in the hell are you talking about, Mikey?
I'm making a joke. I'm making a joke
okay.
about wheelchairs. I'm saying, like, they should
Well, that's real
deserve some
funny.
jet powered packs, so that people can go faster in them instead
humor.
of having to bend over with their
It's a
hands.
difficult concept.
I have to
You
say,
gotta
and
work
he
on
has
your
a
jokes,
unique
Nick.
seat.
It's not logical.
Indeed. Okay.
There's some Matthew guy in the
Steven
chat
was having
bullying
fun with
everybody.
It's all right, Mikey. I got the joke.
Maybe it's a shiny Matthew. Okay. I don't know.
All he
Maybe
does
life
with me is ignore me.
A wild Matthew has suddenly appeared.
Yes. Somebody mentioned Sasquatch earlier. He's the Sasquatch. Nobody sees him except for brief glimpses and blurry pictures and things.
There was a fanfic that I was reading some time ago. Mikey, hang on, Mikey. There was a fanfic I was reading some time ago where they had a Klingon. Oh, it wasn't a fanfic. It was Axanar, where they had the Klingon general who didn't speak like a Klingon. He spoke like a proper gentleman.
Right. Yeah, that was Karn the Undying.
Yeah.
By
Richard Hatch.
Richard Hatch.
Richard Hatch. Late Richard Hatch.
What about him?
Hey, Tokyo.
Yeah, it was great. It was
Yeah, Tokyo.
he'd be like, we would take the D6 and destroy the Federation.
He talked like a eloquent Klingon, but he still had some guttural stuff in his voice, but he wasn't staccato. He flowed a lot better.
Which made him deadly. Richard Hatch did a very good job on that interpretation of the character.
I think that was his last role before he died, too.
I believe it was.
I'm totally done with watching Stranger Worlds. I haven't watched any of the new season at all, and after what they did to the Gorn and the revision of Cooper, I just can't be bothered.
I tell you, the only way I'm able to watch Strange New Worlds and enjoy it on some level is by just not accepting that it's part of the same continuity. Saying, look, they're doing their own thing, because, and I kind of agree with I say this, LDG, that I think the show is at least partially written by AI. I think the writers use that to help them plot the show because there's all kinds of decisions they've made that strike me as something an AI would decide. So for example, in this episode, Spock steals the Enterprise, right? Well, why would they do that? Well, because Spock stole the Enterprise in the menagerie. He stole the Enterprise, I believe, in a mock time, or at least hijacked it, made it change course. And an AI would say, well, this is what Spock does, so let's have him do it again. Whereas a human writer would be like, well, we've already seen that. Let's not do that again because that'll undermine those episodes and continuity and all that stuff. AI wouldn't care about that. It sees patterns in behavior and then just creates a new story with those established patterns.
And ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget, there is a writer's strike in progress.
Yes, there is.
Which I believe began around the time that they started writing the season, or at least the conflicts began that led to the strike. And ChatGPT can write Star Trek episodes because I've asked it to, and it has done so. And it turned out to be the same quality as we got this week. Crap.
And ChatGPT can do it for less money.
Yep, it does it for free.
True.
Yeah.
I've honestly been so happy about this writer's strike because if it goes on long enough, we might get a purge of these activists that are cosplaying as writers and maybe get some actual writers back in.
I wouldn't count on that.
I wouldn't either. It would be wishful thinking to the extreme.
This is the third writer's strike that's happened in my lifetime over it, and it always ends the same way. Eventually, they get their way. They negotiate a new set of agreements, and then they go back to work. And what tends to happen during this kind of a strike is that what the networks show us are non-scripted shows. So reality television, game shows, things like that are what proliferate during writers' strikes. The shows that don't need writers, basically, or are governed by a different set of rules when it comes to how they're written.
Ungilded.
Yeah, this is actually the fourth writer's strike I've seen in my lifetime. At least the fourth.
You mentioned reality TV. I hate reality TV with a passion. It's just so
I agree with you, Mr. President.
Stuff like the Tiger King. I mean, I remember when see back when like TNG's second season came out, and that season was shortened because of the writer's strike. There was really no avenue. But then when that later one came, people started watching like Survivor and stuff. They stopped watching Heroes because Heroes sucked because of the writer's strike, and they watched Survivor and shows like that. Didn't need.
Oh, so that's why Heroes got cancelled and made. I didn't realize
the first season of Heroes was outstanding television.
Yeah, I really was.
Zachary Quinto was like the scariest villain on television at that point, and then the second season came, and it was a half season, and it didn't make. There was no continuity between episodes, and it was just terrible. But that writer's strike ruined that show, in my opinion.
Let me touch on something that Matthew said earlier. This big paragraph where it says there is. They think there needs to be more writers in the writers' room. Well, there needs to be writers in the writers' room who are invested in the material and not in the politics.
Yes.
We were lucky with it, and I know how much Matthew hates season 3 of Picard, but at the very least, there was very, very, very little political influence in Star Trek in season 3 of Picard. That was a completely different show than the other two.
It was very much a Father's Day movie in 10 episodes. It was that. It was a couple other things too. But
I personally thought it was.
Matthew hates the third season of.
Oh yeah.
What?
He would release pages and pages of reviews on his own Discord.
That kind of surprises me, but
John didn't like it either, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I wouldn't go so far as to say I hated it, but I didn't care for it very much.
It was
I
too
thought it was a
long
great
and drawn
send-off.
out.
Yeah,
I agree with that,
I just
Cinnabon.
wanted.
Format is.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that just in recent years, I think the last best sci-fi film my wife and I ever saw was recently was Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I actually loved it. It had perfect
Okay,
quotation.
great. Back to
I thought it was
that to
great.
card 3 though. It was that mystery box format that the streaming seasons are, all seem to try to be based on, and I think that was a little bit of a. I think that hurt it a little bit. My big thing was I didn't think it was going to be the Borg because we just saw the Borg in the first 2 seasons of Picard. Like there's no way they're going to bring the Borg back.
Yeah.
It's going to be something else, and it's going to shock everybody. And I thought the Borg was like they're going to be the red herring, but when it turned out to be the Borg and they made it all relate to Best of Both Worlds and a few other things, I was satisfied with it.
Okay.
You gotta understand they don't know what a red herring is anymore. It's just plots they forgot they started.
I have a good
Matthew,
question for everyone. Okay,
Matthew, I need to calibrate Matthew one of these days about Picard season 3.
Here's my take on season 3 of Picard. I really enjoyed it, but part of the reason we thought it was so good is because, by contrast, we've been getting such crap over all the years. If we got something like season 3 after good TNG, let's say, we wouldn't view it nearly as positively as we do now. It's just by the huge contrast that it's a good improvement compared to what we've had since the Discovery crap. And so it's good by comparison, so we like it. But it's not nearly as good as TNG or DS9.
Hey, Jeff, can you put that comment back on the screen?
Yeah, I totally disagree with Matthew on that it
I do
ruined
too.
the TNG characters and the changelings. First of all, the only changelings that were in this show were a select few that were kept at the black site. The rest of the collective is presumably as we remember them. I mean, these other changelings were heavily modified and were different in what they could do. And then the TNG characters, look, this was their send off. Okay, I think that they getting them all back together. I mean, we got something that Star Wars fans didn't get. They didn't get Luke, Leia, and Han in the same room. We got them all on the old bridge.
Unfortunately, we got that 3 or 4 times in the TNG movies, though. Those are all just right off into the sunset movies.
The last TNG movie was a decade and a half ago, wasn't it? I mean,
2002.
No, it's almost 20 years ago, yeah.
And their so-called send-off at the end of Nemesis was so poor.
What a joke.
Yeah.
As compared to the absolute sewer water we got this time?
I had a very positive reaction to Picard season 3. I thought it was a great send-off for that cast,
I think Picard was so much better than me in the Nemesis. And the way they killed off Data at the end of Nemesis was just horrible. So, I don't know how... I'm saying Picard Season 3 isn't as good as TNG was, but I don't see how you could equate end of Picard Season 3 with Nemesis, because Nemesis was trash by comparison.
Nemesis is great compared to Picard, and they're both horrible.
Did you just say that?
Picard, all 3 seasons of Picard are equally crap.
Well, I don't
agree
at all.
Disagree with that.
Three is very much
freaking sewer.
3 is very much a different animal.
Nemesis is just right above it.
Well, that's just crazy.
I don't understand.
I just want one question of everyone.
Got to see it to have an opinion on it.
No, I just
I
want to
saw 2 episodes. That's more than
I ask
enough.
one question of everyone.
What's that? Mikey?
Yeah, I was going to say one question, guys. Now, if Star Trek 4 does come to fruition, okay, should
It
we
won't
go
happen.
with a Borg
I hope it
storyline
doesn't.
or a Q storyline or something else? Okay, so you're saying we don't go Borg or Q, we go something else then?
Why would we do that with the fake TOS crew?
I have no interest in
There's
seeing
no
the JJ
connection.
verse
There's no
movies.
connection
Yeah,
with
it's not
Q in the
gonna
JJ
happen.
verse.
It literally can't
Yeah,
happen.
I think
the cast
that's
has already
salty
told them to
Trekker pretending
go
to
away.
be Life with Matthew, because there's some very salty comments here that.
Yeah, he's each time I ask, and with all due respect, Matthew, I keep asking you how they ruined the TNG characters,
I
and
thought Worf was outstanding.
you haven't been able to give a solid answer that would convince me. So,
Well, I
how
did
are
mention
they
several.
ruined, and how did it break their canon?
Well, he doesn't like the character progression they gave them.
Can I guess at one thing that he might be addicting to, which is one thing I found uncomfortable with to begin with, but now I've come around to it and see. Ask Matthew whether that's what he's talking about. Is he talking about how Geordi decided to abandon Starfleet principles and didn't want his daughter to essentially wanted his daughter to violate his Starfleet oath and not go on the mission with Picard because he was afraid of losing his daughter. Because initially I didn't like that, and I also didn't like how Riker was arguing with Picard on the bridge. But now I get it. Are those the two things that you think ruined the characters, Matthew, or is it something else?
He mentions Worf as a pacifist. Anybody who watched Picard season 3 knows that Worf is not a pacifist. He told Riker he was a pacifist, but that was a joke. I mean, again, he beheaded people, ran them through with his Klingon sword. I mean, pacifists don't do that.
Beheaded a Ferengi.
Right.
Happily.
If we're going to talk about character changes, my exhibit A would be Beverly Crusher. They turned her into a killer, basically. I thought it was basically completely out of character for her.
Yeah,
well, it was self-defense, though.
Well, she was a doctor without borders, and apparently it's dangerous out there. So yeah, and her running off with Picard's baby was an interesting turn of events. But I mean, that scene where he confronts her about that, I thought was a very good, well done scene. But we got Data back. In fact, we got an evolution of Data back, which I thought was kind of neat. So and we won't see Data again, but I mean. I thought that was neat. Geordi being a father and basically working at a museum because Starfleet doesn't seem to need engineers anymore is interesting as well.
The biggest thing I didn't like the biggest thing I didn't like with Geordi, and don't get me wrong, I'm not being like Red Alert Jim and Matthew saying it's garbage. I'm just saying one thing I didn't like about Geordi's character is they wrote in that he didn't like the fact that his daughter was a pilot because he was an engineer. But they forgot completely the first season of TNG when Geordi himself was a pilot. So
I can defend that, Mr. President. I can defend that. Geordi is a simp. This has to do with everything about how he views relationships with women. And I'm not trying to go anywhere disgusting with this. Geordi is a simp. And as soon as he got his family, I guarantee you, there was nothing else on his mind but his family. And not because he's a family man, but because once he finally got a girlfriend, he's like Harry Kim. Head over heels in love and obsessed. So as soon as he got his family, he's super dad protective. I don't want anything. I don't want my daughters to have a stubbed toe.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking something along the same lines there.
And Life Matthew says that Beverly ghosts everyone because she doesn't want Picard to know he's a dad. Have you ever met women? they do this shit a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are trying to protect their kids from killers? Yeah. They turn fast.
Or try to wrestle control of a child away from the father and keep it secret. And there's history is replete with that kind of stuff happening.
I know there's lots of women who would do
don't
that,
forget-
but I would say the Beverly Crusher wouldn't do that. It's not like she's a new parent. She's been a parent the whole time we've known the character.
Yeah, but she also wasn't a parent back then that was having angry mobs of death squads coming after her.
Well, that was a more recent.
Right. So since Jack was little, that's been happening. So
I did have a
According to
little
Ford.
bit of a raised eyebrow about the fact that she decided to leave Starfleet to better provide medical care to certain worlds. That was interesting to me. But yeah, it's my biggest problem with the movie is okay. Hold on a second there. Now, my big thing was, one of the big positives that came out of seasons 1 and 2, and there weren't many, but one of them was a lot of people liked that new Romulan girlfriend of Picard's. Well, we got to see her in the beginning, and then, obviously she just kind of got written away, and
Okay.
it's like, I wouldn't have minded to see the three of them in a room, and she's like, okay, this is how it's going to be now.
or her in the back of the shuttle when they're bringing Jack to the Enterprise, and it's like awkward.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say something real quick. When I was
Mikey.
okay,
Spit it
I
out,
just
Mikey.
wanted
You
to
got our
say-
attention.
Yeah, I was trying to say something.
You've been trying to say stuff
was
all
is
night.
that-
Go ahead.
I think
I'm
he has a little
sorry.
bit of a delay in
I'm
his
sorry.
connection.
It's just my connection. I'm trying to catch up.
You trying to change the subject
what I
again?
was trying to say was is that in Voyager, when the EMH first came on, Picardo, he said that he had all the knowledge of what was it, about 1,000 doctors or something like that. Can we assume that Beverly Crusher was one of them? Can we assume that correctly or not?
What does that have to do with our discussion?
No, because the
Well, it
EMH
has
was
a
good
lot
at
to
his
do
job.
with it. I think it has a
In
lot
what
to do
way?
with it.
There would be no
Well,
Doctors
I mean-
Without Borders. It'd just be, here's your EMH program. All
I
the
gotta call
doctor you ever
Matthew out
need.
on this one. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta hijack this for a second and call Matthew out on this one. Matthew, did you actually see it? I'm questioning this because Geordi didn't lose his wife.
Right, Matthew, I'm having serious doubts that you are A, Life with Matthew, and B, that you saw the show.
He didn't lose his wife.
You're exposing.
They just couldn't afford to hire a wife.
You've
That could be
exposed
true.
A lot of lack of knowledge here. I mean, it's not like Matthew that I remember.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, it is.
It is a lot like Salty though.
Well, Matthew getting details wrong is kind of his MO.
Indeed.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Far
Very
point
much
encounter.
so.
Under 5 point is 5 point in encounter. So
But no, Resolute is actually right. I don't think they could afford to hire somebody to play his wife, but he had a wife. He didn't lose her.
There was an interesting moment in Picard season 3 that I'm fascinated with. Towards the end, in fact, in the last episode, there's this blue shirt. And he reminds me a lot of Tim Christ, who is going to take the helm. And he says, "But I'm just a cook." And I'm like, wait a minute, you're a cook. TNG didn't have a cook. Enterprise had a cook because they didn't have replicators the way that the other shows.
And it was Riker.
Yeah. Well, no, but and then Voyager had a cook because they needed to give Neelix something to do so he wouldn't get into trouble all the time. But
They didn't change his character, Matthew. Oh,
So this is
frustrating.
What is he, a technician of replicators, or is he like the captain's personal cook? Is he the guy who made the blue steak? I mean, I don't know.
Probably. I mean, that's
I had a lot of questions
logical.
about that.
It was actually a Boolean.
I just think
He wasn't a bull.
No, I mean the meat was Boolean. That's why it was blue.
Oh man.
well,
Don't
I
go
just,
there.
you know what?
Remember
I
what
think
color,
that
remember what color his waffles
Janeway,
were.
Oh,
guys, I think that Janeway just kept Neelix in the cooking in the 10 forward in their 10 forward version because he was irritating too many people. Even Tuvok said he irritated them. So that says a lot. Just relegate him back to the cooking place and leave him there.
Well, Matthew. That's the drama of the show. He had to be convinced, and Picard convinced him.
No.
You know,
He's a father looking after his kids who just happen to be in the military.
What I liked about
At
this
that
was
time, it's too late to look after him.
the characters
Parents
had,
never
had,
stop.
had changed,
Yeah.
but they were still the characters had changed enough to indicate a passage of time, because you're not the same person today you were 23 years ago. You're just not.
Thank you.
And yet you
Preach
are
it.
at the same time, and I think they struck a really good balance. And and it culminated at the end when they were all on the D's bridge.
The major problem is they didn't go back and explain the major changes in the characters that they brought back. They just a line or two to say why Beverly's now this cold-blooded killer and why Geordi is hiding away in a museum.
Matthew, his daughter did not convince him. It was Picard saying, we need you, Geordi. She needs you, and then he goes in to fix the cloaking device. It was Picard that did the convincing. It wasn't his daughter.
Yeah, that's how I remember it too, Darren.
I believe his daughter shamed him after it. She didn't try to convince him. She just basically eye rolled him and guilted him.
Yeah. He said this is how it's going to be.
Yeah, I think that one of the best examples of parenting had to have been Generations, where Kirk looks at Sulu's daughter, right? And he was like, and she was, yes, and he was like, wow, because she took, it wouldn't be Enterprise without a Sulu at the helm. I think that's probably a great example of parenting right there.
Oh my
His
God!
daughter presented her case, and it didn't change his mind. And then the one daughter turns to the other daughter and says, I'll see what I can do. But it wasn't until Picard convinced him that he actually flipped.
Right. May I say something?
Well, who knows? Picard had Wesley all this time, right? You're saying he's a
Mr.
secret
President,
dad?
yes, I'm there.
Were we referring to that?
Go
ahead,
I was just
Go ahead,
gonna
Mr.
say-
President.
I was just going to say, Mike, Matthew, originally I had very similar reaction to you about how Geordi was betraying his close friends. But then I was, Tokyo and others explained to me what parenthood does to you. And then after they explained that, because I'm not a dad, I've never had kids. So after friends like Tokyo and others who have had kids explain what that does to you, then I was able to fully accept his reluctance and his caution. But I did feel the same way as you when I first watched it, prior to some friends explaining and then saying, no, that's a perfectly natural evolution of a personality, because when we saw him in TNG, he had no family. The only life he was risking was his own, not any of his family. So,
And I also want to note to John and Matthew, actually, about Beverly. She is, I need to remind you, I don't think I'd really need to remind John, but she is qualified to be in command of a starship far beyond the capabilities of Deanna Troi. She's not afraid to order people to their death. So her going around, defending Jack from angry murder mobs of deadly changelings, vaporizing them after they're down on the deck to make sure that they're fully neutralized and not coming back. I don't see that as a major change in her character. I see that as an evolution of her character.
I am
think
gonna take off now. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for the game.
Have a good
Thanks
night.
for coming on,
Have a good one, Darren.
Is I see that as a big change for a character, but I understand your point of view.
Well, what did Beverly do in Descent Part 2?
Being in the Enterprise and leaving the entire away team there to die.
Well, what did she do with the Borg
everybody
ship?
killed.
She destroyed the
She
board.
blow it up, killing
She
everything
didn't
on it.
come up with the idea.
Yeah.
She had the shield
disobeyed
idea.
orders.
It was everyone else who figured out how to destroy it.
But she had to give the command to do it.
Exactly. She approved of it.
Like, the Borg aren't people. She didn't equate that to killing people.
She thought Hugh was a person.
I was just gonna say Hugh. Yeah.
Well,
She made a big stink about sending Hugh back to kill every Borg with the nanovirus.
She did.
Well, yes, I'd say there's a difference between destroying another enemy ship in battle and shooting a combatant who's unconscious on the ground.
No witnesses.
If you know what's coming after, you got to make sure it's dead, not going to get back up and change form again.
Well, she didn't know they were changing.
Yeah, and don't
She just knew
forget
there was
that,
somebody coming after.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Don't forget that in Endgame that they had, future Janeway inject the entire, inject herself with the virus to kill every Borg, and destroy their transwarp, portals and everything.
And on this
Yeah,
comment,
but Janeway was
there's a child
sociopath from
involved.
the beginning.
On this comment from Matthew. I'm sorry, Jeremy.
I was just saying to Mikey that that's completely within character because Janeway was a sociopath from the get-go.
Yep.
Hashtag Janeway did nothing wrong.
Hashtag Janeway did everything wrong.
Yeah. And the doctor offer was absolutely wrong when he said, I don't recall you killing my patients. Tuvix.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Custer want to keep Jack away from space anyway because
Hang on, guys. One at a
He's a
time.
weird
One at a
space
time.
pedo.
Go ahead, Cinnabon.
I refuse now.
Well, let me just real quick, because I kept getting talked over about the last comment that was there, about them willing to kill. Yeah, that one. There's a child involved now between them. So if it was my kid, even if I was a pacifist and I had the opportunity, yeah, I'm killing the murderer who's coming after my kids.
That's not how pacifists evolve in my experience. They get worse as their child grows. They fall more and more into their natural predilection of pacifism.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's based on life experience. What you go through in life is how you're going to react later in the future.
Sure.
That's what I believe. Okay. And now what does Thomas Paz say?
I've lost the train of thought. What? Be chased for being.
It's a continuation of the previous comment.
Oh, I see.
Can someone read that out? Because I'm too slow at reading it.
Okay. Matthew says, but for her character changes, it was the ghosting of Picard and company that Matthew took more issue with. They wanted to justify her actions with her knowledge at the end of season 3, but she didn't know Jack would be chased for being Picard's son when she first ghosted them.
True.
She was worried that Jake would turn into Picard.
Yeah, but she was still in love with Picard.
I took it more that Jack would be killed because he was Picard's son.
But he didn't have any enemies at the time.
Both had
Sure he
valid reasons. Both had valid
Wesley
reasons.
was an enemy.
Yeah.
Well, Wesley was an afterthought, okay? Even his own mother was upset with him. So
What do you mean Ridley was an afterthought?
Who would have been Beverly
I would say
or Picard's
Wesley
enemy
was an
around the
afterthought.
time Jack was born?
David Bach.
Yeah.
He'd come back and be like, now you have a son. Now I can kill him.
Now you have a real son. Die. Man, wasn't David Bach in prison still?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Yeah, Frank
Bach was gone. The
prison, so
Borg were defeated.
probably out.
Q hadn't shown up in decades. Any real threat to
Anyway,
Picard or her had
go
long
down
been
to-
gone.
Oh, that's what I was going to say before. I'll just say this before I go. The only way Janeway should have gone when the Voyager returned from the Delta Quadrant is straight to the brig for murdering Tuvix.
And several 100,000, probably millions of others.
Yeah, true.
What was the
Where's Captain Nemo?
John?
Even worse than the non-canon Captain Archer everyone loves.
Matthew, I think they're going to retcon Kirk fighting the Gorn.
There's going to be a Gorn war, it sounds like.
Yeah.
They've thrown that out the window.
Yeah.
That ending scene last week was just no.
Hey John, what was the period of time? Did they ever say what the period of time was between when Voyager got back from the Delta Quadrant and when Admiral Janeway told Picard about the Romulan situation there in Nemesis? What was that time frame?
It was a year later.
It was like a year later.
Yeah.
Let me confirm my timeline that I
later, 20
meticulously
year and a
made
year
and was
and a half.
approved. Hang on, let me draw up my timeline, guys. Actually, meticulously made a Star Trek timeline that was checked and double checked, and I can't send a screenshot because I'm using my phone for StreamYards. Voyager got back. Voyager 2377, and Nemesis was it's 79, so about a year and a half later.
Yeah, instead of promoting
2
it
years
to
later?
Admiral, they
Yeah,
put her in a
Yeah,
jumpsuit.
roughly.
Hold on, Mikey.
I did.
Sorry, I was just reiterating what I said before. Instead of being promoted to Admiral, she should have been given a jumpsuit and straight to the brig. Justice for Tuvix. And with that,
I completely disagree with you, Mr. President.
I knew I'd get a reaction. And with that, have a good evening, everyone.
Good night.
Take the honorable part away from us right now.
Good night, Mr. President.
Good night. See you.
Good night, Mr. President.
And if anyone is interested in checking out the timeline, I've posted a link to it in the chat.
Now, this isn't the triple timeline, is it?
No, this is the timeline that the three of us actually sat down and made.
Kidding.
It is a triple timeline.
Triple timeline bullshit.
Triple being as done by me, John, and Jeff. Three of us in one, the holy trinity of Star Trek.
I'll never subscribe to any triple timeline.
How about a quadruple timeline?
Maybe.
Yeah, we're not
Well, there you
considering
go.
the Abrams Kelvin timeline, are we?
That one is that one in the linear version?
Should I say it 3 times, Thomas?
No, it's not. I don't think it's in the linear version.
I can't accept it unless you guys included the whale probe timeline.
The whale probe timeline. What about the
It doesn't matter. It's, whale probe's wimpy.
Oh my god.
Vija would take it out so easily.
How many
Alright.
timelines
Yeah,
have
more
those
fine.
later players?
Even more powerful.
John made a good point about that. What did you say, John? What was the thing you just said about V'ger?
I said Vija would take out the whale probe easily.
Did you say he had a good point
Oh,
about
for
that?
sure, for sure.
V'ger would mate with the whale probe and create something worse.
Oh,
Don't go there, Tokyo. Don't go there.
Don't go there, Tokyo, please.
Are you the
They
creator?
also would absorb all of V'ger's
That's it.
energy, and
Done.
Vector would just die in the vacuum of space.
Yeah, it might create something like Star Child out of the 2001: A Space Odyssey. Or 2001.
Except the Star Child is a whale.
Yeah,
Triple
right.
timeline makes no sense, Matthew. Now we know you're crazy.
That's like the pot calling the kettle black.
Excuse me.
I should be offended.
You heard me.
Yeah,
You heard
well,
me.
now you offended me. Joff.
Who's Joff?
You.
I don't know who that is.
No, you're mistaken.
No.
Your craziness is showing again.
Yeah, somebody was saying before to you, Professor, about if the fact that there was a fire in your library, you'd be out of a job. Wasn't that true or something? I mean, I agreed with that.
Calls me crazy again.
Yours
There
is
just
an
might
important
be.
job. Yeah, but his is an important job.
It's very important.
It's very
I'm sure pretty much any job, if the building caught fire and burned down, you'd be out of a job. Not just a library.
Yeah.
What if it's a firefighters facility where they practice fires?
Where they practice fires? Well, then they'll just find some other wreck to use as a.
Yeah, some people
demonstration.
donate
I said
their houses
pretty
for
much.
Yeah.
Did you miss the words pretty much?
I don't think you said that.
Yes, because your craziness made you not hear it.
You better hope I don't ever find this so-called library.
Oh, I'm scared now.
Ooh, the challenge has been thrown.
Oh, it's been thrown a long time ago, Mikey.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
true.
been thrown a long time ago.
That's true. Yes.
I was giving you the benefit of the doubt, Matthew, but now I'm having second thoughts.
What's it gonna be? Phasers at dawn or something like that?
We need Darwin to settle all this.
That would take care of it.
Talking dog.
Darwin is
I
wise.
can't do a dolphin noise. Forget it.
Oh my gosh, this is so much fun.
If I ever got into a duel, I would insist it had to be brass knuckles in a McDonald's parking lot, so I can give them a McFlurry of blows.
Oh my god.
Okay, Thomas.
That sounds dirty.
Now you heard me say it.
Wow. That's what T Dowd was saying. Who has the best wow? I said wowzers. That's the best wow I could think of was wowzers.
I'm well known for my wows on A Question of Track.
Yes, the
That's
professor's
true.
wows are unparalleled.
Yeah.
Your wows
I
are
think John has good wow. Wow. Hey, at least I was trying to be original.
Well, this has been a very interesting discussion tonight, but it's getting kind of late, so probably would be a good place to start wrapping things up for this evening.
Going on 4 hours. Yeah, I agree. Thanks for the game, guys.
Yep.
Hey,
Fun
thanks,
night.
Tokyo.
We appreciate all coming on the show, playing the game, discussion.
Congratulations,
afterward. Thank
Sin.
you so much. Yes,
Yeah.
True
congratulations,
champion in the house.
champion. Cinnabon.
3 rounds
nicely
in a
done,
row.
Cinnabon.
The ultimate champion. I'll be back next week to defend my title and destroy everyone again.
All right, Bunny Basher.
And I'll be back next week to reclaim it.
There you go.
And professors are
Never
question and trek
happening.
tomorrow, as far as you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
Star Trek V is the topic.
You say that
Life
every
is
week,
but
and
a
then you
dream,
cancel.
right?
Tentatively.
Excellent.
Is that what it is?
To my knowledge, right now, there will be a question of Trek tomorrow, Sunday, the 18th of June at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
In the year of our Lord, 2023.
Indeed.
Good, Daniels.
Thank you again, everyone. Hope to
In
see
the
you back
30th
again
century.
next week at our usual time.
All right, John.
Bye.
We'll see you.
Good night.
Sin, are you
Good
streaming
night,
next?
everyone.
Good night.
Maybe.
Oh, awesome.
See you. Bye.
Later, champs. And I'm trying to remove myself from the stream.
And he did it, folks. And we're still live.